What's up, everybody? And welcome back to Tino's Time Wrestling. It's Saturday afternoon. We got no premium live event pay-per-view today, but that don't mean your boy Tino ain't live. We're here, guys, back on the Retro Series, back on the WrestleMania Throwback Series to watch WrestleMania 18. We are joined by Juggernaut, my man Justin, relived all of WrestleMania 17 with me. It was a great show to relive. And today, guys, it's WrestleMania 18. So let's not waste any time here today, guys. And let's go over the card of what's on this WrestleMania before we introduce the first-time guest here on Tino's Time and Tino's Time Wrestling. And WrestleMania 18, guys, I feel like is one of those that is very, very underrated. I think that has a lot of good matches that people don't think about. WrestleMania 17 was good, WrestleMania 19, stuff like that. But I think WrestleMania 18 kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But let's go over this card real quick. We got William Regal taking on RVD for the IC title. We got DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, taking on Christian for the European title. We got Goldust taking on Maven. I almost said Mankind. Maven for the hardcore title. We got Kane taking on Kurt Angle. Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, taking on Undertaker. We got Edge taking on Booker T in a match that I feel like is one that I haven't seen very much of, but I'm excited to rewatch it. We got Stone Cold versus Scott Hall, the bad guy, with Special Enforcer Kevin Nash. We got a four-way elimination match for the WWF tag titles featuring Billy and Chuck. Who could forget about Billy and Chuck? We got the Hardy Boys taking on APA and those Dudleys. And then we got The Rock. If you could smell what The Rock is cooking, taking on Hollywood Hulk Hogan. We got Jazz taking on Lita versus Trish for the WWF Women's title. And then the main event, which me and my guests will be talking about more about because we were talking about it off camera. We got Chris Jericho taking on the Game for the WWF Undisputed Championship. Y2J with Stephanie McMahon. You guys are not seeing that wrong. Stephanie McMahon was by Chris Jericho's side at this WrestleMania. But guys, let's not waste any time and let's introduce our first guest here, or first-time guest here on Tino's Time. Trying to have him on the show. Happy to finally get him taking some time out for your boy Tino. So guys, let's welcome my man BC from Wrestling with the Truth podcast. He's here for the first time. What's up, BC? How you doing? Did I do that right?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Tino.
Okay, want to make sure I did that right. I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh crap, I think I forgot. So, but man, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me and all my fun guests and people that are in the comments. Can you see the comments?
I can't right now.
No? Okay.
But I've got it on mute on YouTube in case any comments come up. So we're all good. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's sometimes people come in and start asking questions and stuff. So, but we're watching WrestleMania 18, and we were talking about before, and you were saying how you couldn't believe how young me and Justin were. If you want to go ahead and tell the people what you remember and what you remember from this build of WrestleMania 18, like I was saying, I feel like rewatching the build, I feel like this is a very underrated WrestleMania that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. So how did you feel the build up when this was live? What were you doing? How were you feeling? Did you have a WrestleMania party?
All right. Well, first off, this white hair isn't a gimmick. I am that is true blue. I was so I'm 47 right now. So I was 27 when this would have taken place, or 26. Sorry, when you considering birthday. So 26 when this pay-per-view would have taken place. Back when we still called them pay-per-views. And
you get yelled at now for this. You say
people get so weird about things.
It's
unreal.
Like, what are we doing here?
I know. But for me, this was peak, I guess, through the Attitude Era, watching it, and kind of almost felt like near the culmination of the Attitude Era. I know people think 21 was the culmination, but you still have the whole as good as WrestleMania 17 was, and I think it's one of the greatest ever. You didn't have the major names like Hall, Nash, and Hogan in the WWF at that point, and this is where the build to this was the whole Vince McMahon injecting the poison into the WWF and wanting to kill his own creation. So he brings in the NWO. So, and you talked about it yourself, just the back when they would spend a fortune on some of the backstage angles that they did, taking a semi into a ambulance to
Man, it's just the stuff that they do not like. Like I said, I've been rewatching this and trying to rewatch every road so I knew what was going on, because I was so young. I think I was like 4 or 5. I think it was like right around there. I don't remember much until WrestleMania 21 is when I kind of remember everything. So like I've been rewatching these, and it's just like you say, it's just they used to spend so much money to the point where it's like that's why it was so good, and it just like it made it feel real. And then Rock was gone for a little bit, and then when Steve had Nash, or not, I keep saying Nash and Hall, but when he had Hall in the chair and he's rolling him around, and then he puts him in the cage and he locks NW, it's like that type of stuff is what's so much fun, and it's one of those stories that you want to watch Raw throughout to see what's going to happen, and they just don't do it anymore. So
did you ever hear the story about that whole angle where he had him locked in the freezer and he was pouring the beer on Hall at that point? What was going on?
No, I'd never heard that story.
So Scott Hall obviously had his demons and stuff like that, and he's battled with addictions, and at that time he was trying to kick alcohol. So at this point he had severely been dealing with this back in the WCW days, which is part of the reason I think why he took a while to come back to the WWF. But he was on a certain medication that whenever he smelt or tasted alcohol would cause him to vomit, right? And I guess Stone Cold didn't realize this, so they're doing that angle where he locks him in the freezer in the chair, and his arms are tied up, and he's pouring the beer on Hall, and meanwhile Hall's doing everything he can not to puke at this point because this medication that he's on to keep him from drinking. So it's, man, I think Austin talks about how bad he felt about it afterwards when he found out about this, but obviously Hall wasn't, letting the boys in on what was going on. But so.
Oh my God. It's so crazy because like I've seen all those documentaries, like all the biographies and everything. I haven't watched the NW one from last week, but watching all like the documentaries and now rewatching all the roads and seeing all these like old Raws and SmackDowns, and now knowing what was kind of going on. I didn't know that obviously, but like kind of what was going on with like NWO and then with Steve. Like I'm watching 19 right now and knowing this is Steve's last match, and knowing that like Rock asked, and stuff like that. It's just so crazy to think about, and just you just saw. Yeah, that's all I got. So, but that's all I got. There was a lot of other good ones too, like Taker and Flair was another one that I feel like they had a very good build, like to where like Flair kept going, I don't want to, no. Then Taker said, oh, you'll have to wait till the end of the night and stuff like that. So and like I said, we could talk about it through it. So I appreciate, like I said, again, coming on. Let's press. You ready to press play?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, as the matches come on, if something you remember more you want to talk about, let's do it. We start with what? Is it who starts? Who sings the opening on this one?
Saliva.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then who's 19? Is that Saliva again?
Is it? I can't remember.
I forget.
Let me look that up for you. I'll let you know. My sound isn't coming through the speakers or anything, is it?
No, I actually got to grab my controller though because I can't hear it. So I got to turn it up because I can't hear it. So I'll be right back in a second. And then guys, I'll catch up with you in the chat. I see everybody in the chat. Sorry, your boy's slacking here, but
I'll cover you.
I'll be hold on.
All right, chat. So we're opening up here with WrestleMania 18, and it's Saliva doing the opening theme song for this.
Every time you think you have stuff set up, there's always one thing you're missing. Every time. I do it every time. If it's the headphones, the volume, something.
This is like Superstar or something is the name of this song, if I don't forget. But they also did the Dudley's theme song, Get the Tables, Going to the Ring.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen this a few times. It's just one of those that like I've like, I don't know, like I just feel like that like I like consume so much wrestling that I just forget sometimes. So it's like, and I was always one of those where I always liked watching the big matches. I'd always skip through like all like the like matches I really didn't care about, or like the matches that didn't have a stipulation. So this is like my first time actually watching any of these like fully through.
It's funny.
The early ones.
You look back at this. I mean, of course, the events that the WWE have are just as huge as this. They're going to do the Alamo Dome and all that stuff. But there's just such a massive feeling to WWF at this point because you had these big stadium shows, you had all these acts, and then every one of the wrestlers felt massive stars too.
They did, and that's the thing. It's like all of these guys all were like put into a position to all get over in some sort of way. Like it's like all these stories meant something, all had their own little time to like build. Even if it is like the women in the triple threat to like Rob Van Dam and everything. Like
Yeah.
it's just like you love Rob Van Dam all the way to Chris Jericho from the start
Yeah.
to the finish. Because I think with the Rob Van Dam match was the first one, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it was.
mistaken.
Yeah, him and Regal, and even Regal, right? Like, just
Yeah,
feels big time. Yeah,
yeah.
but
The
it's impressive. And then, of course, this is the Sky Dome back in the day, so I mean, it's a massive, massive building
uh,
too. So it just gives
I
it that
love
big.
the way when they're singing, how they're showing the promo, like all the promo
Yeah.
stuff in the back. Like that's the type of stuff that, like, imagine if they did now. Like it would be crazy.
Well, it's a good way to get the stories over without having to go through like a cold open, you know?
Exactly. Like they need to find a way to hype these people up, especially for like getting ready for what is this, like a 4 hour show, 3 hours and a half. Not
Yeah.
bad. I'm not looking forward to the ultimate thrill ride. 5 hours and 42 minutes. I'm like, that's not even the pre-show either. I was like that don't include. I was like, I'm not ready for it. So
Speaking of pre-shows, I didn't realize this in all these years that I've watched this event. Mr. Perfect was in a dark match in the pre-show of this.
was he really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It was him. It was a 6-man tag. It was Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Albert against Perfect, Lance Storm, and Test.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Think about that. Mr. Perfect is in your dark match of WrestleMania.
Like it's just so crazy. I I need Eric. What's up, bro? I appreciate you coming and hanging out, man. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna get to the chat, catch up in the chat before everybody keeps messaging. I fall too far behind. What's up, Jordan? How you doing, bro? Getting ready for the show. We got Steve in the building. What's up, Steve? Thanks for coming and hanging out. SCW Steve. We got
Hey, Steve, how you
Chumblebee.
doing, man?
We got the moderator in the house. What's up, Chumblebee? Team Forward. He said he was a freshman in high school when this one was on.
There you
So
go. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I mean, so you don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Jordan says he bought this pay-per-view live.
Nice. Nice.
If I remember, and if we got this pay-per-view, we probably got it on one of those like boxes that was like, my dad would always get like those boxes, like the ones where you could like get like the channels, you wouldn't have to pay anything, or I forget what they were called, like the breakable box. What were like bootleg boxes or something like that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
that's how he would always get them, because I like I said, I always remember from like 21 on. But my cousins have been watching. That's how I got into it. Was my cousins, and they were coming over since they were like 12. So I'm sure we ordered all of these. I just don't remember. I was probably running around trying to be all these guys. Like,
My God, though, the WWE, WWF video packages are unbelievable, aren't they?
Me and Justin were talking about that. Like, they don't do it like the way they do it anymore. Like, it's just so good.
It it almost brings tears to your eyes watching this.
It really does. It really does. And there's times where I'm like, expect like I said, when like the ones I always remember too, and it starts bringing me back to like, because I can't say words today. I would have WrestleMania parties, so I'd have friends over. My dad would have friends over because his friends would watch it and everything. Like that's when I'm watching some of these and I'm like remembering everything, and it's like, damn. Like even like then thinking about how long ago it's really been, it's like shit. Like,
do you know, are you right in Chicago, or where are you at?
On the south side of Chicago.
South side of Chicago. By the way, I'm rocking the Blackhawks in your honor. That's
hey,
my hockey team. Yeah,
hey, I appreciate it, man. They might not be the best, but you still got to support them.
Hey, man, we had the glory years in the 2010s.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're good.
My high school years were great for
yeah,
hockey.
I bet.
That was the best, because my freshman year they won it, the first one in 2010, and then when was the last year? With 16, right?
So they won in 2010 and 2013 and 15, wasn't
15.
it?
It was 15. Yeah, it was 15.
Yeah.
I always.
But I was going to ask you. What was 22? Was WrestleMania 22 the last WrestleMania that was in Chicago?
WrestleMania 20. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so,
that was the last one. I've been waiting because that was. So I'll tell more of the story once that one comes, because I'm actually having one of my friends that I've been friends with since like childhood come on, and he was over. We were like 11 years old at that time, and he was actually over with me at the house, and he's like a big Rey Mysterio fan and everything like that. And there was just I just, it sucks because I just want one to come so bad that it's like
I
I'm
know.
thinking about going to like Detroit when it goes to SummerSlam because I just want to get a big event here, and I feel like we won't until we get some type of a dome because they don't want to sit in the cold in April and March
Yeah.
whenever they decide to do it. And
That
it
was
just,
like that was a 2.5 minute long video, and it was still amazing.
it really, it just, it's so good. All and it just like all of the stuff that they did, it just boggles my mind how the same person is like pretty much destroying the same thing. It's just like because he just, oh man, I don't know. How do you feel about all that nonsense that happened with Vince and everything?
Well, I don't know. Like, it's unfortunate what's gone on, right? You hate to hear any of that. I'd love to know the actual true story amongst all of it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
right away, people are just immediately crucifying the guy and all this
I
stuff.
know.
But there's what I always get a kick out of, and I won't get too deep into it. Is like,
Well, yeah,
what's the point of a non-disclosure if somebody's going to come out and talk about what happened, right? So shouldn't he be able to sue
exactly.
them for that money since they
Oh
didn't
my god,
follow the non-disclosure?
exactly. And
But I
it
mean,
just,
it's unfortunate it happened, but it was kind of time for him to go anyways. So I
yeah.
mean, it's yeah. I
And
mean,
that's the thing where I just feel like if he would have left like a few years ago, like before everything like what happened, it just like he should have ended it on a good note instead of
yeah,
ending it like this. This is how people are gonna remember Vince. Well, we should
yeah,
remember Vince when he was whooping ass at every WrestleMania and
yeah.
fighting Hulk and Shawn and this and that. We're starting the first match, everybody. It's our guy Rob Van Dam taking on William Regal for the IC title.
Did you hear that pop
Oh, for Rob.
for Rob? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He's
love that
one.
they're advertising Forcible Entry, that DVD or that CD too. Great name.
Some of the promotions that they had back in the day, like watching the Raws and Smackdowns, are so funny. It's just
I
like,
know.
what are we doing here, people? Like, it's just like, oh my god, so great.
You can really tell how big that stadium is by just the echo of everything that's in there, right?
Yeah,
The
because
songs, the
how many
crowd.
people are there? Do you remember? I'm sure they broke the attendance record like they
Supposedly it
do
was
every year.
68,000, but I'd say
68.
there's
Okay.
probably at least 50,000 there. So that's still a damn good crowd.
I hate William Regal.
God, I miss when they used to have sets for these events,
Oh,
specific
bro.
sets.
But like they seriously like why I'm so tired of that video board. I'm just hoping one
Yeah.
day we're gonna get surprised with like some type of an amazing set. Like they
Yeah.
did laziness is all it is. They don't want to
It
take the
is.
time to come creative with stuff that they used to do.
That's why
Like
the pay-per-views feel like another episode of Raw, right?
that, and it just and that's the other thing. Like some of these sets like they put you in like the mindset of like a WrestleMania or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like if they did that for if they could just do it because they do. I feel like they still do it kind of for WrestleMania, but like they should do it for like every week, even if it's just mixing it up a little bit. How were you feeling about William Regal at this time? Did you like him, or were you
Oh
Rob Van
man.
Dam guy all the time, all the
No,
way?
always a big fan of Regal. I thought he's an awesome gimmick, man. Like just the only thing I didn't like with Regal was the man's gimmick that they put on him, right? When he was the real man's. But I love this one. And I mean, he can go in the ring like no tomorrow, but any guy that can expose Bill Goldberg's all right in my books.
I mean, facts. Oldberg. I don't even consider him Goldberg. Oldberg, get the hell out of here. I don't want to know more Oldberg.
And I always found RVD. I did like RVD, but some of his stuff looked pretty stiff, eh? Some of those kicks.
Oh yeah. Rob Van Dam was always my favorite because I would always try to do the frog splash off my parents' bed because they had a bed and then they had a pull-out couch. So I tried to do the frog splash from the bed to the pull-out couch onto like a pillow, and like I don't know, especially like when him and Ray were a tag team at one point. That was when like I really like because I love Ray. Ray's one of those, especially because I think it's also too because he won it in Chicago. I have like some type of like thing with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. Hey, I got a question for you. We talked about this. I was on Bammer Chatter, and we did that this or that episode. And one of the questions was black ropes or white ropes. Which do you prefer? We got the black ropes here.
I see. I like I like the white ropes for certain ones, and I like the black ones, and I feel like they should do it kind of like how like I'm doing it, like how I got like the blue and I got like the background and everything. Like they should
Yeah,
do it like according to like what like color it is or whatever. Like I just again like I feel like they get laziness where like it just makes it look cleaner. And there's certain like episodes of SmackDown or certain episodes of like shows that I remember because of the white ropes or like the black
yeah,
ropes.
yeah,
But I like the black ones. I like the black and then the blue and stuff.
yeah. I like the black because they don't seem to stand out as much. They don't take away from the wrestlers. But
Oh yes,
what I was mentioned though, I think maybe the reason they go with white now is because everything is so bright now. Like when you watch the shows, that I guess they figure they want everything to look bright and clean, as opposed there was a bit of grittiness back in this era.
yeah. I wish we would bring some of the gritty back to
I know.
some type of it. We got the
That's what
we got the biggest Cowboy fan in the house. Who's your favorite football team?
it's Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
You can
true.
see in the background there.
Oh, true. I didn't even. Oh, okay. True. Man, the Bills. We got Goldberg. Yes, yes. Goldberg will spare me. I know. I ain't messing with Goldberg. I'm just saying. Regal made me laugh when he did a promo about RVD saying you point at your head with your thumb. Funny as hell. Black. Jordan says black ropes. Jordan also said he was 7 at this time.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
There
good
you go.
call, Jordan. Yeah, black ropes.
Black ropes. Because I don't know. I wish somebody would have jumped off this set. Like, you should have had the Hardy Boys jump off the set and onto the Dudley Boys in that match.
Yeah.
Like, that's a match I don't remember. Like, I don't think I've ever watched. Like, I love that. Like I love the Hardy Boys and stuff, but I think because it wasn't like an Undertaker, it didn't have its stipulation. I don't think I rewatched it.
Well, because everybody thinks of the Mania 17 match, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why, but I always thought 16 was TLC 1 and TLC 2 was at WrestleMania like 20 or 17.
I get that. It's just a tables match at 16, right?
Is it a tables or just a ladder?
I
I
can't
think
remember
it
if
might
it's a
be a
tables or a
ladder. I
it's
just
just
watched
one
it last Sunday
stipulation.
too,
Yeah,
and I forgot already. See what I mean? I don't even know what I did last week.
I know. You're overwhelmed with all this wrestling.
This is why wrestling needs an off season. Like I love it,
I
but like
know.
I'm trying. Like I feel like after, like even if it's like a week, like have like the Raw after WrestleMania, and then don't come back after until the following Raw. Give everybody like Tuesday to like Sunday off. Like I just
Uh,
feel like you know what I mean, just a little bit. Like last Monday or last Sunday, I thought I was forgetting to set my fantasy football lineup because I did a playoff challenge, and it
yeah.
was the first Sunday without football. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, there's no football on today. There's
You were
just
right. It was a triple threat ladder match. Yeah.
that's right. Okay, it was a ladder match. I should know that. Again, I just rewatched it with Steve.
This is a pretty damn good match here between RVD and Regal.
Well, and that's the thing. Like some of these matches are very underrated. That I feel like that like if you watch some of the build to these matches, it makes these matches like so much better to where like that's why it was one of the reasons why I wanted to do that was go
Yep.
back and watch it because it's like knowing like what RVD and Regal did, it makes sense why these two are fighting now. Instead
Yep.
of just turning it on and being like, wait a minute, Regal and RVD fought. I didn't know that.
Well,
Because
this is,
this one is Hogan on
oh,
Rock.
gee,
I feel like that people remember the most.
that full Nelson suplex. Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, that's the. Do you remember when RVD started like having his like problems and everything? He had like that
Yeah.
stretcher match with Randy, and then
Yeah.
he started. Oh, like that picture of RVD like just scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. Another thing, like Regal is in great shape here.
Yeah, I think this might be the best shape he was probably
It
ever
might
in.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
Because have you ever listened to the podcast that these poor men, like the poor man has went through and everything with how many
Yeah.
surgeries he's had? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy to think about with everything that he did like back then and everything. Like, because I don't think he had these problems at this time, right?
I don't think so. No, but I mean, he's dealt with issues, but yeah, he's even got like abs here. He's like in fantastic shape at this point.
He's like hell yeah. The tightrope.
Brian Hebner drives me crazy.
Is that the ref?
Yeah. All Hebners drive me crazy. I'm a Canadian, so all Hebners drive me crazy.
One.
Oh
Two.
man, that frog
Three.
splash.
Man, it's so good. Man, the way Montez does it and how high Montez Ford goes,
Yeah.
it's just like holy, like how can you even go that high?
Yeah.
I
Montez
I
is
I,
a freak.
I was hoping that he was gonna pull that out on Sunday, Saturday, whatever day the premium live event. I almost said pay per view.
Yeah. You know what we talked about? I did a review of it. The nice thing about that match, everybody looked like a star in it, right?
Yeah, they all had their moments, and that's the
Yeah.
big thing about matches like that. That I feel like one person would have like the shining moment. Like I always remember that women's one was Shayna. Shayna
Yeah.
went in there, she beat the 5 opponents and walked out. What did anybody else do?
Yeah.
And it was like awful. I just hope that they do the right thing this year. We shall see, though. I try not to get my hopes up until anything's announced because I don't want to get let down. Like the Rock stuff. Everybody's like, Rock showing up at the Rumble. Rock show. I'm like, if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
They don't need The Rock. They don't need him at all. Man. We got a
No.
new IC champ here, my friend.
Yes, we do. RVD. Rob Van Dam, guys, your new IC champion.
Busted mouth and everything.
Busted nose. So much blood.
Oh Jesus!
not as much blood as they do on AEW sometimes.
No.
I thought Evil Uno was gonna die last week.
God, this angle for Christian was unreal.
Christian and DDP. Man,
where are you at on the time for this? What are you showing?
Are we might be I'm at 1840.
Okay, I'm only like a couple seconds behind you.
So okay. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, the whole smiling gimmick for Christian, my God.
I don't remember, how did they break up Edge and Christian?
What was it? Did Christian turn on him? Is that
I don't remember. I'm going to go back eventually, like more like
I'm trying to remember.
In the summer, more like early winter, and like start watching that stuff. But I just don't remember because like I've been starting from like after No Way Out to WrestleMania, whatever like that those dates are, because obviously it would take me forever if I was trying to watch every Road to WrestleMania from Royal Rumble to whatever.
Here's what it was. Okay, I figured it out. So it was so Edge won the King of the Ring in 2001, and that's when they were starting to go with the Edge solo run, and Christian started getting resentful for that, so he ended up turning on Edge, and they feuded for the IC titles. What happened?
Okay, and that Jordan just said a ladder match for the IC title. He turned on Edge.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay, true. Trying to put all this together, make all of it all make sense. Nope, I'd have a panic attack. Nope. No, I hate heights. I can't do it.
No I've been up there. I've been on the CN Tower.
Oh my God. It looks nice, but like I'm just trying to stay on the ground floor.
Yeah, they have this one spot where it's a clear floor, so you can stand on that spot and look down.
Ooh,
yeah,
that stresses me out. Next match, guys, is Christian taking on DDP for the European Championship.
What do you think of this music for Christian?
I don't know why, but this is always the music. Every time I hear it, I think of Christian. So like I don't know why, but like I feel like it should be the other music, like the music that he had like when he was like feuding with like Randy and stuff like that. Because I was more in like high school, but I don't know why. Like this music always I think of Christian for some reason. The Dudleys, the Hardys, and Christian and Edge, I think I've like seen just like about every match and every documentary that they've done with each other. So maybe that's why, because I've just watched them so much. But yeah, Christian,
unbelievable.
I feel like Christian kind of was like the one like where like it kind of took him a lot longer to get over, like to have his moment. Obviously, he didn't win the world title till he won it when he did like the one more match stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
I don't think McMahon was a big fan of Christian. That was the problem, right? He always liked Edge more.
Yeah, they always loved Edge. I hated Edge. I resented Edge until he retired because the man literally. I love John Cena, so he always killed John Cena. He cashed your money in the bank on John Cena. He beat the hell out of John Cena. Oh, always
such a good feud, though.
It's so good. That
Man, like,
Unforgiven match is probably one of my favorite matches that I've ever watched.
DDP seems so out of place here. Like he just seems nothing like the DDP that we remember from WCW, and
No.
it's like so weird. Like they even like how they started with that whole stalker gimmick when he was stalking Undertaker's wife.
What year was that?
That was 2001. That was during the invasion.
Okay. What
We're
was that like
watching.
the summer?
Yeah, towards the end of summer, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like because we're like obviously with what we're doing on our audio podcast, we're doing Wrestling with the War, so we're watching the Monday Night War right from 1995 on. So
Okay.
we're in 95 at the moment, and like that's really DDP really starting to get himself over, and like it's so impressive. He was a manager for so long, and then we always talk about he was a walking gimmick. He had so many different gimmicks going on, but you could tell there was just something about him that was going to be over at some point with the fans, as if he could get heat. And it's really cool to watch it because kind of forgot about that era for him.
Yeah, and that's like that's the thing why like it's so nice to when you watch some of this stuff when like you actually do
Yeah.
have time to do it, because it's like all these things do make sense because in some way, shape, or form, like they still do bring these up. And there's even times like I was watching something from 21 and they made a comment, or Theory made a comment about it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, because he's trying to call out Cena and stuff. Obviously, he's trying to make those little references and stuff.
Yeah.
Way too obvious what they're doing. Come on now. That's the other thing. It's just way too out. Like, we could be, me and my friends sit here and be calling stuff on Raw, and then like a week later it happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Internet
Jordan mentioned about DDP and Canyon versus Brothers of Destruction. That was actually, for a little while, it was a good feud, and then they buried them, basically. But yeah.
DDP was with who?
Chris Canyon.
Oh, Chris Canyon. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a first name Canyon. I'm like, wait, who? Like Canyon who? Okay, Chris.
Who better than Canyon?
Who? No, is it nobody?
Nobody. Except the fans say everybody.
Everybody. Man.
And they're physical though, man. Like the people forget about they I think they go right from the 80s where they think that it was just so soft to like to now, but these guys were physical during this era, and they were big friggin' dudes.
Because is this like the first one? Is this like the first one considered, or is this the last one is considered WWF?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, would this be considered like the last one of the Attitude Era then, or would like because when the it was the Attitude Era, then the Ruthless Aggression Era, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, it was kind of around this time that when Attitude Era took an end, basically. But I still consider this Attitude Era.
I feel like once like it's like Rock and Austin and all of them are gone, and everything is like, I feel like 20 was like obviously like the first one, because that's when we saw Cena, we saw like we saw Triple H and stuff like that, and we saw Eddie and stuff. But
yeah, it was just shortly after this when they lost the lawsuit to the World Wildlife Fund. They had to drop the WWF.
I want to go back and rewatch like it leading up to it, or seeing like where like Vince had to come on and say it's not the WWF, or it's get the F out or whatever. Because I always see the promo, but I have not found like where it starts. I've been trying to
and like out. Where did that marketing genius go away to, right? Because just think about it, they could have been screwed with that, having to change their branding, and it was perfect. Like I love the whole get the F out idea with that.
Yeah.
And now they can't do anything.
They really can't.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, that's right. Later on, 2002.
Oh, so what? Once John Cena said Ruthless Aggression is when it was the Ruthless Aggression.
Yeah,
era?
pretty much. Yeah.
Funny.
Remember him and like Benoit used to say it a lot.
Oh, I know.
And DDP is a big dude.
He really is. I feel like DDP was one of those guys that if he could have just, I feel like if he could have just stayed straight or stayed like in the right, I feel like he could have been way bigger than he actually was. Like there's a lot of people that, like, I feel like don't remember who DDP was. He just is like a guy compared to, like, if you say Edge and Christian, they know who like Edge and Christian is. People might know DDP more for his like workouts now than
For his
anything.
yoga, yeah.
Yeah, yoga workouts. You ever tried that?
No.
No.
I love that power bomb, the spinning power bomb.
I'd get dizzy. I'd be like, nope. I don't know. There's some of these moves, man, I don't know if I could take. I'd be like, I'm just not ready for it. Christian's had the same finisher since like 1999.
I know.
I hope we see him and Jungle Boy face each other at Revolution and just get it over with.
I think you will.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, no, kick out. I've noticed too, this is compared to last year, this is kind of where like the sign stuff kind of happened, because you don't see as many signs as you did like from like
the 90s was crazy for it.
Oh my god. That's what made it feel so, like, it just made it feel more raw, where it's like people bringing signs is like they actually put a lot of work into it, even though it was just an arrow in their name half the time.
Or the traditional, the guy behind me can't see. Yeah.
I just text my mom, I'm the guy that can't see. I'm behind the guy that has the sign. And DDP
retains.
Is he retaining? Okay, I
forgot
if he walked out with the champion or not.
The European champion.
Okay, I do have the C. I tried to make sure I put the C because I was trying to, because I might have forgot. I've been trying to set these up like a week in advance just because there's so many of them. But still, you're European champion. European champion. I always liked that championship.
I did too, yeah.
Next match is Maven and Goldust in a hardcore match for the hardcore title. Troll. The Sky Dome. Is this the Silver Dome that Hogan was talking about and at WrestleMania?
No, he called the Superdome the Silver Dome.
Oh, poor Christian.
This is where Christian freaks out.
Oh my god, he's losing his shit. He's like a big baby.
JR, get him a diaper. I miss Prime JR and Lawler together.
Oh,
that was such a good scene.
So good. You say get him a diaper.
The other nice thing that you see with the crowd too is nobody's watching through their phone, right?
Oh, I know, right? Everybody would be taking pictures, and oh my gosh.
I think that's half the problem with crowds today, why they don't get into the matches. They're too busy looking at their phones.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I went to a SmackDown and a Raw, and I'll never do it again. I was like, damn, I don't remember anything. I was like, why did I do that?
Yep. Rock's in good shape here.
Man, he's just so good. Do you watch Young Rock?
No, I haven't seen any of that.
Oh, it's so good. They've been they started with like his childhood and everything, and they're starting to get into like when he just entered, like, and they introduced like Stone Cold and like Triple H and like stuff like that, and it's just so cool to see like some of the stories that he's saying, like the $7 story in his pocket and everything.
Yeah,
and then it's one of those, when you have time, I definitely check out, especially if you've watched him since like, when did he debut? Like
96.
96.
Little trivia tidbit for you here. His dad, Rocky Johnson. I'm in Nova Scotia. His dad was born and raised in Nova Scotia.
True.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun facts.
North Preston, Nova Scotia. So not far from where I am. Supposedly, The Rock spent a little bit of time here, but I don't know if he spent too long.
just a little bit.
Yeah, like a couple days or something like that.
Man, I don't even know how the man has anything to do anything. He's got to be like, his mind probably never stops. Did you take your vitamins this morning?
Where are the guys that do promos like this now, right?
Like the promos were like half the time better than like the actual like stuff that was going on in the ring. I feel like The Rock could do everything. Yeah. Say your prayers, coach.
I like when he made the coach do the Charleston on Raw. Get out of here, you sick freak.
Man, you wouldn't be able to get away with half of the stuff that they do nowadays. Or that they did back then nowadays.
What up, Jay?
What up, G? That's all you get thanks? You get out of here, you sick freak!
And then he kicks him. He just said,
You don't get thanks like that. Get the ass out of here. You think Hulk Hogan,
The Rock just took over the interview.
I know.
What you gonna do, Hulk Hogan?
Oh, it's so funny.
When you've got butterflies in your Hulk's stomach and you reach down the field if you still got a Hulk strudel. Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do?
Your Hulk stomach.
Oh, shit. You know what, Hogan? Tell him.
Because you want to hear what he has to say.
Everything that it's so great.
You will see the people's elbow come crashing down on your chest, and Hogan, above all else, you will. Good God Almighty, you will.
I want to know how many shirts that they ruined in that time period between Hogan, The Rock, everybody just ripping the shirts.
Not hard to tell that The Rock was fired up about fighting Hogan, eh? Like this, he knows this is gonna just be an epic thing.
Oh, it was.
Even for The Rock, he was pretty pumped up for that promo.
Because when did NWO, like, when did that whole situation where, like, they actually, like, sold it and they, like, all ended up going to be with WWE and WWF?
So they sold it in 2001 is when they sold the actual WCW to WWF.
Okay.
But the NWO didn't come in until 2002. So, like, I think No Way Out, like in February, is when they debuted, which was cool because it was NWO, right? And No Way Out. But and then they just did the build right to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I didn't even think. I didn't even think about that. No Way Out NW.
Yeah.
Duh. Come on now. Duh. Team Forward said, "What's up, G? These days, people are too soft." Ask Big Bill. I guess he's too soft, apparently, to his girlfriend.
Goldust was so good.
Oh, he was. I miss Goldust. It's like I miss the character Goldust, but then again, it's like he's still wrestling, so it's like he's still there. Kinda, not really. What did he said this year is his last year, right?
What's that, sorry?
Goldust said this is his last year, right?
Yeah, that's what he says, yeah.
We shall see. Jordan says, well, they're scripted, so a lot of people can't do promos like this and don't know how to deliver it like The Rock. Back then, I think it's too because Vince had a lot more trust in a lot of these people than some reason than he did now. But I think that's also because there isn't so many guys like back then that there are now, where it's like you're bringing in people from like different countries, different NXTs, different indie promotions, everything that like, I don't know. But I do think that they've definitely gotten better over the last like few years because there was a period of time where they weren't very good.
Man, I hate when they overdub the music.
Yeah. There was something that somebody shared on one of the pages I'm in, and they shared apart from WrestleMania 2000 that was not in the one we watched on Sunday last week.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me mad because it's like now I'm like, damn, what else did I miss that I should have seen that wasn't on there because I forgot that they edit stuff out because they got to make sure it's all up to whatever standards that they have it.
PG and all that stuff.
I know. I hate Peacock. I wish it was still the network. I hate it. I hate Peacock Peacock so much. The only thing that's good is I watch so many NBC shows that it's like I'm paying $9 to watch like all the other shows too. But like other than that, there's no other positive.
Well, getting WrestleMania for $9 is not a bad deal. That's for sure.
Yes, people don't understand what it was like paying $49.99 and having it on Sunday nights.
You literally had to have parties in order to get everybody to cover the cost.
That's why we'd have parties. I would have like me, my like 2 or 3 friends. We put like $5-10 in. My mom would pay for the rest. She'd get us food and we call it a day.
Yep.
And then sometimes, because we went to the same school, they'd stay the night if it was okay. Sometimes they had to go home. There were sometimes they missed it and stuff. But like, yeah, it's just like they were so damn expensive. It was so hard. It was like a bill to watch wrestling every month.
Especially when they did WCW too.
Yeah, and then they did 2 a month.
Yeah,
at one point. Yeah, and then counting that was what 3? Did they ever do like 2 pay-per-views and then do the WCW, or was it just 2?
No, I don't think they ever did that. But I mean, just if you like both, I mean, especially when like the NWO was hot, you had to rent them both. I mean, that's like $100 a month.
Yup. I mean, now like with AEW, it's like you're paying $50 and then you're paying like whatever. Thank goodness AEW doesn't have a pay-per-view every month because I would not be doing that. I don't even like paying for them now, and I barely do if I do.
Yeah.
It's just like, and it's like some of these pay-per-views aren't worth it. Like these obviously were, but some of the ones like where like they'd have a false finish or like a shitty ending. And I'm like, I just spent $50 to watch this, and I got to go to school tomorrow. That's lame.
Yeah, sometimes like a lot of times, like for the AEW ones, I'll just watch them on some streaming thing the day after, and I'll just stay off Twitter so I don't see all the results, right?
Oh, that's so hard to do, though. I don't even know how people do that anymore. I had to finally turn off my Instagram notifications because it was just getting ridiculous. I'm like, go away. Like, too many people.
It's not even that it's the spoiling. It's the more so the way people react to it. It's like it kind of ruins the show for it. It's like you'll hear all the reaction from Twitter and people are down on it so bad. And then you watch it like going like, this actually wasn't a bad show. What's the whole issue here?
And then there's times where you should rewatch the show because if you rewatch the show, I've done that a few times. It's a lot better the second time because you actually see stuff that you didn't see the first time. I do that all the time, especially when I do like my live streams for them. It's like because there's times I just don't see something. I just got to go back and see. We got
even the announcers. Even the announcers make a difference, right? The old hardcore title.
The announcers, yes. How do you feel about like the announcers now? Obviously, they're not like what they once were, but do you like Corey and stuff like that?
Corey's okay, but I just find a lot of the announcers just all sound the same, right? Like that's why I kind of like SmackDown. Like I was never a big Michael Cole fan, but he's certainly been a lot better ever since Vince went away, and he doesn't have to follow the corporate line so much. But
yeah.
At least
and
on
I think
SmackDown,
McAfee helped him out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have McAfee who sounds different. That's all you're looking for is guys sound different. Like you remember when they had Corey and Jimmy Smith, and then they had what's his name doing the backstage stuff now.
Byron, right?
Like who's talking here, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like they all had their own different sayings and stuff where like somebody would like attach to them, like JR. Like when JR is there.
Yeah, and there's something about just hearing a guy like JR with that Southern accent that brings legitimacy to this. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy that. Whereas Vince hated it. He just is like, "Oh, you sound too Southern. You sound like wrestling." But that's what we want, right? We want to feel like it's kind of gritty and stuff.
Yes, the gritty needs to come back. Is the Triple H and Jericho match now?
No, this is a weird thing they did. Like they used the band to tell the story. So while these guys are singing, they're showing all the story on the.
Okay,
thing.
I was like, wait, because I tried to put them in order on how I have them. I'm like, wait, didn't we just say it was the main event?
No, yeah, you didn't miss anything. It's just this is a different different way they did things, but oh well.
I mean, but it's different, and this is a cool way, especially, well, and you got to think, like, 2 matches, 3 matches in, kind of get the crowd a little hyped up again. Like,
Yeah.
this is something, like, especially if you love Saliva or whatever, like, at this time, you're probably like, hell yeah, like, let's go, woohoo! I mean, that's why, like, when I like they did, like, when they did that for, like, The Rock and Cena, I like that because I like MGK and Flow Rider and stuff like that. But it's, like, the bands that they even had, like, back then, like, I just wish they would, like, the music was just so much better.
Yeah.
Like, and it all fit. It all made it feel like there was, like, a meeting to, like, and you could, like, relate while listening to the music to, like, the actual storyline with what's going on the screen. So now they just pick, like, The Weeknd because it's popular and think people that listen to The Weeknd are going to watch wrestling.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't care if they're popular or not. Just that type of music doesn't seem to fit with wrestling. And wrestling's all, like, hardcore, hard rock, metal type of thing, right? Like, the best is when Triple H had, like, Motorhead doing his stuff.
Oh, so
phenomenal.
Good. I love,
like, you were pumped to watch that match after your Motorhead sing.
The music just... Interesting.
Yeah, they're cooling the fans down. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Get them ready for the next thing.
I mean, it is a long show.
Yeah.
I went to Survivor Series, and I mean, that was kind of a long show. It was fun, and it wasn't as, like, many matches. Like, I could, like, I want to go to a WrestleMania, but that's the only thing. Like, if it's, like, 17 matches, I'm going to be, like, sleeping, like, match 8 in.
I can't deny. I love the ability to be on my couch and just kind of zone out for a while,
or like pause it. You gotta go to the bathroom or something. And that's the only thing I like. I love hanging out with everybody and watching it live, but like that's the only thing I don't like is I can't just pause it and go to the bathroom whenever I want. Like there's been times where I've had to like wait till the match is over. I'm like, guys, gotta go intermission.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on.
You brought up a good point.
Can't hear you.
Stuff and
what you say? I couldn't hear you.
You mentioned about rewatching the pay-per-view sometimes just to get a better idea of how the show was, because you'll miss things like about what the announcers are saying and talking about the storylines and things like that. You're talking to your friends or scrolling on your phone, you miss some of the moves and things. So yeah, you got people freaking out about pay-per-views who didn't even pay attention to half of it during the show, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing too, where it's like with like this, like there's so, like I was saying, like there's so many things I just, even watching it, like, cause like I've always been one of those. I've been like wrestling is always like that thing. Like I would go to like watch like when like I just didn't want to like deal with anything. So like I've rewatched so many like WrestleManias and everything where like I do see it, like, and I remember it and everything, but like, and it's like that's what makes, I feel like some of the build makes it so much better, where it's like rewatching the stuff and knowing what's going on. Just makes these matches better, to where like the matches obviously sometimes don't turn out the way they did, but obviously you get so invested in the storylines where like right now everybody's so invested in the bloodline, like we all just want to know what the hell is going to happen next.
Man, I gotta admit, I was a massive Triple H fan at this point. That dude was just jacked at this point. And then when he came back from the whole quad injury,
man, that quad injury was not good.
I can't believe he finished that match. That's what blows my mind.
I rewatched it and I didn't realize it was that match until he was walking out with like how they show it now is like, don't try this at home. And then they showed them walking out and I was like, oh my God, this is the match. I'm like, how did I even not realize?
Like that. So for anybody that craps all over Triple H for like, what he did in the mid 2000s and how he was, just taking over the title and stuff like that. The guy finished the match with a torn quad and let Jericho do a Walls of Jericho to him just to help get those guys over at that time, man.
That just sounds like it hurts, man. That just no, thank you. I'm just not a fan of that. But not a fan. Jordan says he's not a fan of WCW, but Bash at the Beach 2000. If I bought the pay-per-view to see Jeff Jarrett lay down for Hulk Hogan, I would be so mad. Yeah, and the thing, 2023, we're buying a pay-per-view again to watch Jeff Jarrett wrestle in a tag team match for no reason.
Man, that era of WCW, Vince Russo's handprints over it, and just it was just brutal at that point.
I just got done watching like the rise and fall of like WCW, and I watched the one for ECW and everything, and it's just so crazy to see like how high it got and just like how bad it all just went down.
Yeah.
Steve says on the UK time zone, I always have to avoid social media, see spoilers if I can't watch a show live. Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it in the UK. I just cannot imagine staying up. Like I think about the people that stayed up for like New Japan. Like that's like I just can't. Like I'm already falling asleep at like 11:30. And if you guys did not see, Hurricane is your new hardcore champion.
Swoops in to take the title.
Let's go.
Here's my boy Kurt Angle.
You suck. You suck. I've been like I said, I've been watching WrestleMania 19, and I want to go back and I want to rewatch the how he got his head shaved because I really don't remember. And now that I'm watching him with bald, I need to know how it happened.
He had a hair versus Edge.
Yeah, I want to go rewatch the match and see like how it happened and watch him get his head shaved.
I met him after this.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because that's right. Because Judgment Day was always like right after Backlash, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like right around May or something like that, or June. Yeah.
Shut up, Angle. I met him when he had hair. I think it was right around like 2000, 2001 or something like that. I had a book signed by him, and I don't know where it's at, and it kind of makes me mad with my collection I have. Yeah, 2002 Judgment Day.
This is, if I remember correctly, this is a pretty good match considering it's Kane and Angle, but I think this is pretty good. But we'll see. I'm trying to think back to this.
This is another one that I didn't even realize Kane faced Kurt Angle at a WrestleMania.
Yeah. This is sexy Kane when he's showing a bit more skin, right?
Oh, yeah. That's right. Sexy Kane. When did Kane take off his mask? Was that 2003?
I believe it was 2003, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Or it might have been 4. Might have been 4.
Was it 4? Okay.
2003 or 4, yeah.
Because that's another one. I remember watching that Raw Tuesday morning. It was like, I think it was a summer. I think it was. I remember watching it like Tuesday morning, eating my breakfast and being so scared and running outside, getting my dad, being like, Dad, Kane just took off his mask. I'm scared. I believed that stuff for a long time, that he was burnt and Kane was his brother, or Undertaker was his brother.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You gank him DDS at that point.
Kane. Hey, I think he's in better shape now than he probably ever was in the ring. Have you seen what this man looks like now? Like it's ridiculous.
Thanks to old DDP yoga.
Is that what it is? Was
apparently.
It really DDP?
That's what he says. True? That's what he says.
True. Let's get a BC. Let's get on that. Let's get on that yoga. Let's do DDP yoga on Tino's time, guys.
I'm gonna have to, man. I gotta drop some LBs, so maybe I will do the old DDP yoga.
Watching the Sox game today and seeing how some of these guys drop some pounds, I'm like, I did something wrong because I still don't look. I'm like, damn, all these guys on the team are like my age, and I'm like, shit, I'm doing something wrong because I need to too much pizza, man. The Chicago pizza kills me.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you couldn't just be eating that all the time.
Oh, bro, if I could, I'd eat pizza every day of my life.
Yeah. And Kane was so over at this point, though, man. He was awesome.
Oh, I feel like Kane never not been over.
Oh, look at that!
Just right away, beating him with
just kills him with the bell.
with the bell. What do they call it? Is it just the bell, or is there a
ring
name?
Bell? Yeah,
is it just a ring bell? Okay, I thought there was another name.
And Angle threw a good punch. What a rookie year Angle had, man. That guy just exploded onto the scene.
He did. He was
just a natural.
Yeah. And he was I feel like he was one of those too that like he was so good that like even if like you didn't like him, like people that said you suck, we still say you suck, but we all love Kurt Angle.
Out of respect, right?
Yeah.
I loved his run as a Eurocontinental champion when he had both titles. That was great.
What that was That was in WrestleMania 17, wasn't it?
I think it was 17. Yeah, he put them both on the line.
That was 16 when he put both of them on the line.
Okay, yeah.
That's right. Because that was the one me and
Juan Jericho, right?
Yeah. That was an interesting way. I feel like that would be a good way to do matches now. Like have two different pinfalls for two different titles.
They could do that with Roman and Sammy and Cody right now if they wanted to.
Mean, they could if they wanted to. I don't know. I still think it's going to be a tag team match.
I think it should be. Yeah, like you cannot. They were building to Cody for this long. You can't mess with that. And plus, it's too big a moment for Roman to lose his titles to mess around with it, right?
Yeah, and I've said it a bunch too. You tell me winning the tag titles with your BFF from childhood is not a dream come true. You're crazy, because I'd love to do that. And you're beating the Usos, the longest reigning defending tag champions. Sign me up.
It's a situation where the champs would elevate the titles, right? Because if you had Owens and Sammy after the culmination of that storyline, take those titles, that elevates the tag titles. Like think about how garbage they were just a year or so ago, and now you have the Usos making them so important. And then if these guys to take it off them, that could be a main event of night one if you wanted.
Well, that's what they're saying, and I think it should be, because the Bloodline storyline is the biggest. Is the biggest storyline in WWE. You should have it, because WrestleMania in a way should be like a reset. You end all the rivalries, and then if you have a draft or whatever the hell you do, then you call it a day, because obviously Roman and the Usos are taking some time away. Logan won't be there. We won't see Edge probably after Mania. There's going to be a lot of people, but then we're going to see a lot of call-ups. Like after Stand and Deliver, we'll know if Braun's coming up, if Carmelo's coming up, who's the champion, if there's a new woman's champion, if there's, and I think I don't want to say I hope that the Raw after WrestleMania is good, because it's not been good the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
I can't remember one that it was very good where it was like, holy crap.
It used to be a way to kick off your next feud, right?
Yeah. That's what it should be.
I think what's caused the problem with that, is they now have WrestleMania Backlash. So basically, they're revisiting the matches.
They took that away?
I know. So this might be a good sign. It's
my birthday too, so I said, hell yeah, let's go. It's not WrestleMania Backlash. Oh, yeah. That was so. When I saw that for the first time, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, come on.
You literally had WrestleMania. That's supposed to be the end of the feud. You don't go a month after WrestleMania and have the same matches, right?
Backlash. Vince thought if you put WrestleMania in front of it, people were gonna watch it. Even though we have all been watching Backlash since 2003.
I know.
Or however long it's been on. Oh.
Jordan Davis says a dream match, Angle versus Bret Hart, would be a masterpiece. I just said that on another podcast the other night that I would love to have seen that match, Bret and Angle. I think that would have been just phenomenal.
Oh, it would have. There's so many matches I think about now that just would have been so good that just like sucks that we will never be able to see happen. That it's just like, but yeah, no, I didn't even see that. Yeah, Jordan, you got some good ideas, man. That's what we got 2K for, I guess.
Probably one of my biggest regrets is that we didn't get Angle versus Bret, man. Yeah.
Because they were around for, I mean, obviously Bret like came around, but like they were always around like for the most part around the same time, no?
Well, by the time Angle came in, Bret was in WCW, and then I think by the time Angle came in, Bret might have got hurt by Goldberg. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But if this whole Montreal Screwjob never happened, you have a Bret still in WWE or F, and he's taking on Angle, right?
Watching that documentary and hearing the full story about that whole situation was crazy, and just like it was just like, oh my god! Like I honestly thought for a long time it was just like a storyline, and then not realizing like it was like real, and it just like damn. Some of these guys, man, like they just like
Angle tossing Kane around is something else.
So much power.
Yeah.
What did they say Kane was, like 216, something like that, 226?
Kane, he'd be 316, I'd say.
Oh, is that what did they say 3? I thought they said 2. I don't know. Still. Either way, I can't even lift like 50. I like the black singlet too. It's kind of different compared to like the blue.
Yeah. Much better than that candy cane one they used to wear with all the
Oh my
stripes.
god. I have an action figure with that one, and it's like that's the
Oh,
only thing
no.
I don't like about it. But it's the only Kurt Angle I can find with hair, so
Mm.
I'm like, I'll take it for now. There's none out there. They're all bald of them. And
Yeah.
if people want a custom Kurt Angle with hair, they want like $1 million, and I'm not paying $1 million for a Kurt Angle with hair. They just came out with a Kane action figure that came to the Raw is War arena on ringside. Yeah. And there's so many people that have literally been ordering the ring, and all they want is the Kane figure because it's like right around this attire. And it's like one of his like rarer attires, I guess, that he didn't wear too often or something. Steve says, if Bret had never gotten hurt by Goldberg, do you believe there was any chance he could have returned to WWE during the Ruthless Aggression era? Could Bret and Vince have made up sooner? I think they could have. I don't know why they didn't. Was there something else that like?
Well, Owen dying. That's what the issue was. So Bret was holding that against Vince at that time, but I think they could have come to an agreement. Vince will do business with anyone. He will take back anyone, right? He took back the Warrior after all the crap that he went through with him. He took back Punk, all these people. So I think Vince is business first. And think about that. You still had Bret and you still had Shawn, who could have reignited their feud, but it actually have respected each other at that point too, right? Yeah. That would have been amazing. Good call, Steve.
It sucks that it took until 2000. Was that 10? It did when they finally did that, and then they did that match with Vince and Bret.
Yeah, I mean Bret was just a shell of himself at that point. He had stroke and all that. So yeah,
I know.
Angle was so good at false finishes, man. He just 2.999.
2.999.
Crowd's behind Angle.
Do you ever watch these and like forget like who the crowd was actually behind and like think like, wait, it should have been the other way around?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Like I always think about. I was talking to Justin about it too. I always think like, wait, is Kane actually gonna like, or is like the other person gonna actually win the match? And then I'm like, wait, no, this is from like 20 years ago. Nothing changes. I'm like, maybe if like they build a different way or they get over, but then I'm like, wait, I'm just rewatching it. Like, what am I doing here? Yeah. Because sometimes when I'm watching these, especially because I feel like this is how I do like the regular pay-per-views, like WrestleMania and everything. So I always forget. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, remember too, it's Toronto, so it's a backwards crowd anyways, right?
Yeah.
As they called it, Bizarro World.
Yeah. It seems like they went to Canada a lot, like back in the day.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
More pressure. Would you take an ankle lock?
Where's your voice box thing, Kane? So you can say I quit. Remember when you used to put the voice box thing on his throat?
That's right. Man, Kane really has done it all.
Yeah. That athleticism. There you go.
Yeah. This is when Kane can move.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is it's like it sucks rewatching some of these because then it's like watching like that DX versus Brothers of Destruction match and seeing how bad all four of them moved and then like seeing how great Kane can move like this. It's like, why didn't we get like that match then, and it would have been better than watching the four old guys go out there and wrestle for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been so disappointed in watching four people I grew up watching in my childhood just look miserable and depressed and unhappy with everything.
For Shawn to ruin his retirement with that, like of all matches,
I kind of want to see him come out and face Grayson Waller, even if it's like a little like 10-minute match. Come out, put Grayson over, call it a career. Booker did it.
Yeah, him or Carmelo. Love to see Shawn against Carmelo.
Yeah, that would be good. Mentor versus student. Jordan said, "Who is the better ankle lock, Kurt Angle or Ken Shamrock?"
Well, Shamrock was pretty legit with his since he was MMA. But you know what? I used to like when Angle used to do the grapevine of the leg. You remember he'd get him in the ankle lock and then wrap the legs around?
Yeah.
But,
And
I
Kurt
hate.
Angle picked up the win. Did he just do like a roll up? Is that what he
Yeah,
did?
Kane's shoulder was up during that whole 3 count, by the way.
I'll
But
go
yeah,
back
like
to-
I don't like when guys just stand up straight and just hold the ankle and do a little twist. It just doesn't look like it's gonna hurt. But when they
Yeah.
get down on the mat and they grapevine the leg with their own legs, then it looks like it's okay. You got the guy trapped. It looks MMA at that point.
Yeah. And yeah, his shoulders were not down
They
at
were
all.
not down, no.
Not down at all. Love me some BC Hunter. What's up? The Heel Truth podcast in the building. What's up? Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Look at
We
that.
got some-
Ted,
we got-
Ted,
we
how
got-
you doing, brother?
Got some love in here for you. Jadis, this is BC Hunter. This is the guest here for WrestleMania 18.
Is that your daddy? Oh man,
Oh,
come on.
Who's your daddy?
Oh,
I've been
already got made fun of for the age.
I've been trying to have my dad come on for one of these, and he's just like, no. I'm like, come on, Dad. You used to watch these with me. Like, we could have a good match, especially the one in Chicago. I had to put a blanket over the window, over the door of outside because I was so scared of thunderstorms back in the day.
Yeah.
It started storming during the WrestleMania that year, and I literally made my parents put up a thing so I couldn't see the lightning and everything. And we got Hurricane over here looking and watching porn. And I'm trying to tell the story about a blanket, and all these girls are taking off their clothes.
The stuff they used to put on there back in the day. Oh man.
The Godfather's another one. From him going from being the Godfather to the rights of censor, whatever the hell that thing was, to going back to being the Godfather. What is going on? Okay. Where did Vince find these girls?
I know.
Did he just go to the local strip club or something and just be like, hey, you come with me? Because
they weren't the most attractive.
No. We got Kurt Angle.
Go ahead.
Next match, and then go ahead. We got Undertaker taking on the Nature Boy in a no DQ match, everybody, coming up next. So go ahead.
I was going to say, we did on our podcast, sometimes we used to do Mania Memories, and we did WrestleMania 18 where we focused on 2 matches. One was Scott Hall and Stone Cold, and the other was this one, Taker and Flair. This is such a good match if you like storytelling, right? Like, I mean, obviously Flair's not in his prime, but it is fantastic. And
it's so good.
One of Arn Anderson's greatest spine busters ever happens in this match.
Can you make live Royal Rumble? You want to do Royal Rumble 2006? Possibly. Listen, we got to get through WrestleMania. I got to get through all these WrestleMania guys. Then we'll figure out the next one. I have a lot of them I want to do. But we have 15 more WrestleManias to do, guys. Come on. People trying to give me more ideas.
Ed, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you coming in here.
AA goaded. AA. Is he trying to do the AA? Please don't do the AA to me.
Arn Anderson, my friend. Double A.
I know. Oh, him beating the crap out of Rick's son was so great. Like, just like the stuff that he did. Like, just these. Rick, I feel like Rick was gonna lose his shit. Like, I was worried Rick was gonna the way he was talking was like, let's go, Okay. What year it was after 19 he stopped being the American Badass, right? Because he didn't come back to being the Dead Man until the one with Kane,
in 20.
Right?
Yeah, 20. He came back in 20 against Kane, yeah.
Okay. I want to see these now. Let's see the board meetings now.
Yeah, they'd be interesting.
Right? That's some good shit on TV.
That'd be a better show than Raw, that's for sure.
20 minutes of it. Let's do it. I mean, Raw's definitely gotten better, man, but these 3 hours are still so long. Like, I just can't. Like, they need to, find a way to, go back to 2 hours. And I think that was something why these were so good, too, back then, is because they were only 2 hours. They didn't have too much time, but they found the right way to fit everybody on there to make the storylines make sense.
Yeah.
They can do it. They just don't want to. They just thought, oh, let's give them more time and put out nothing.
What's amazing about this is, again, the beauty of WWE, man, WWF. They could make you feel that Ric Flair, even at this age, was going to actually be the guy to break the streak at this point. That's how well they did with this match.
Yeah, and then like you said, like with Arm, and then bringing in his kid and everything, and just like Undertaker literally went and terrorized every part of Ric Flair's life until he accepted this match. Oh, he's got to come out on a bike.
Yeah, the biker taker, as we call him.
My favorite Undertaker. I don't know why I liked him. Why I liked the biker taker more than anything. Maybe it's the Rollin' song. Rollin', Rollin', Rollin'.
I'm shocked they're letting Rollin' play, to be honest with you.
Really?
Well, because they usually dub over all these songs, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, true. I haven't noticed any of the songs, because that's the one thing I've always remembered a lot of these is the songs. Like, I'll hear a song and I'll remember, like, WrestleMania, like, 25 or whatever it is, and I'm like, oh.
Some people they don't want to pay royalties to, they'll just put over, like, their generic music or something like that.
Oh. The first ever time I realized they edited something is when Drew McIntyre pointed to the sign and he was pointing at the COVID sign and not the Tampa Bay sign, and I was just like, oh my God. It's like, I was like, I don't remember this. I was like, I watched this live. I'm like, he pointed at the Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not COVID before. This is COVID happened in March. It's like, how does that? You're going to confuse people. Maybe they're trying to brainwash us secretly.
You think?
Like, you rolling. Yeah, this match did end up becoming no DQ on the Friday before, too, or Thursday night before.
Yeah.
Ric's always bleeding. I feel like from this time on, every time you saw Ric Flair, he was bleeding for no reason.
I love the promo when he get in the ring and actually start hitting his head and bleed while he's doing the promo.
I think he did it just hard enough just to make sure he did bleed. He was like, screw it.
Hair looks good here, though, man. He looks healthy.
Yeah. And then he faces, who does he face at 19? If he competed at 19? Maybe
he didn't. He was with Triple H. Triple H fought Booker T. Yeah,
that's right. Okay,
at 20, he faced Rock and Sock.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is kind of like his last like singles match until the one with Shawn, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't think he did anything at 20.
I think he did. Didn't he do like Money in the Bank or something like that?
Yeah, 23. He did Money in the Bank. That was awful. Yeah. Yeah, that was the one. Oh, that I just remember him laying on the floor the whole time.
I just hated seeing him take some of those maneuvers off the ladder. I don't like watching an event and there's Junkyard Dog in the crowd and behind behind the announcers from the Toronto Raptors.
And that's the people in the crowd were so savage. Like when Jerry and JR were talking, like they get right in their face. They'd be like, "What's up?" And like Jerry's like right here. It's like, get out of my face, bro. Like that, you couldn't do that. Like a security would like push your ass, you'd be thrown out. Right hand to his own.
Taker selling like a villain for Mr. Flair. That's respect.
He said Ric Flair is an idiot. Well, tell him how you really feel.
Ooh, did you see what Steve mentioned? A triple threat between Braun versus Carmelo versus Grayson.
Oh, true. Oh, I didn't see that. I did just see it. Okay. I didn't see that. That would be interesting.
That would be a great match.
And the loser leaves NXT. That would be. See, like that's the type of stuff they do need to do because it's like, then you make like that match way more watchable.
Yep.
You're way more interested because you're like, well, now who's gonna leave? If who leaves, what they're gonna do, and it just like.
And they can get away with that in NXT because they can play around down there with so many different stipulations and stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing I do like about it. Like I don't think we could have ever seen the Iron Survivor Challenge at
Right.
a normal like wrestling show until they like a WWE show until they did it at NXT.
Yeah.
And matches like that where like that one was like interesting. It was definitely different than like the scramble and everything. And I did like the little like penalty box thing. And I don't think people would think that they were gonna like that at first, but they found a way to make it work.
Right.
They just need to start using that stuff. Like War Games. It took them 7 years to use War Games. Why did it take so long? War Games should have been involved. Like, imagine War Games in 2019 with NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. That stuff would have been amazing.
I know a lot of people hate him. I don't necessarily myself because I respect what he did in the business. But Jim Cornette was mentioning on his podcast this week about War Games. And I'm kind of in agreement with the people that say I don't like War Games when there doesn't seem to be an actual feud that warrants War Games and you don't have blood and stuff like that. But he said they literally do actually have a feud right now that would warrant War Games, and that's the Bloodline, right? The Bloodline versus Owens and Sammy, and you could throw a couple more people in there like Cody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And get one more. Like they can somebody feud with Solo, and there you go. And that actually would be legit.
Exact thing that they need to do is keep it for rivalries like that, and not just have it at every Survivor Series. Just to have a War Games. Like they need to make sure.
Backlash. Think about Backlash was War Games, and you had that after all the titles got stripped off of the Bloodline, and they're out for justice now, right?
Yeah. Go out there and prove that they're not just guys that carry around titles.
Yeah, but you need some blood in that. I'm not big on I don't like the AEW. Everybody bleeds at the drop of the hat.
Oh my god! That's like why? Like I swear to God, I thought Evil Uno was going to choke on his blood. That was just not a fun time.
Like blood is important at certain times, and like in a War Games match, you need it. It just brings the drama level up that much more. Man, that was a big boot to Flair on that by Taker. Jeez,
is he bleeding yet? Somebody, Taker
is busted. Yeah,
funny as hell.
That's what gets Flair going is once he tastes his blood.
Oh, he loves it. Wrestling with the wait, is that you? Wait, you're not wrestling with it. Wait, is there somebody else in here with Wrestling with the Truth? Or
that's me. That's me. Yeah.
Are you talking? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait. It's like, wait a minute. McMahon is very old. Yes, he's out of touch. That's the problem. He is out of touch. Vince, I don't know what the heck happened to Vince.
Just remember though, I know he's out of touch, but that Bloodline thing started with McMahon at the helm too, right?
Yeah, it did.
It's just
I don't know if it would have went as far as it has, because I don't know if Vince would have brought War Games in when Triple H did. I don't know though. It's one of those things that I just try to enjoy it, and whatever happens. It is what it is. We can't change it. We could just talk about it.
No, exactly.
They don't listen to us. They don't care what we have to say. We ain't flipping.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only time they really did was with the whole Daniel Bryan stuff. That was it.
I know. Yeah, that literally was the only time. Oh, Rick's done. Rick's full blood face.
Crimson Mask.
He's just
look at him, Flair flopping.
Flair flopping. That's a good one, Flair flopping. I'm gonna use that.
Taker looking badass here.
Oh, this Undertaker. Did they ever say why he went back to the Dead Man? Is it just because he wanted to readapt and everything?
Yeah, I think it was just that. Like he tried out this whole gimmick where he wanted to be himself, basically, and it kind of, I guess, he felt like it was a bit played out by that point. So let's go back to what brought you to the dance.
Yeah. I mean, and that's pretty much what he is. Like, this is what we've seen since he retired.
Yeah. And I mean, the nice thing about the Taker style, as he's getting older, it's a slower style. So it doesn't have to be, he can kind of do a slow match at that point.
Yeah.
Man, Flair is juiced.
Flair's loving life. My dad called me last year it was like a Friday night. I was watching SmackDown or whatever, and he called me and he goes, guess what I'm doing? Like, what are you doing? And all I hear in the background is woo. I'm like, Dad, I'm like, I swear to God, if you tell me you're sitting next to Ric Flair right now, I'm gonna hit you. He literally takes a picture with Ric Flair and sends it to me.
What?
I'm like, you suck. I'm like, what are we doing here, Dad? He's like, oh, he's just at the bar hanging out. I'm like, you're sitting next to Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, having a conversation with this man. You don't. I'm like, Dad, like, come on now. He's like, it's just Ric Flair. I'm like, what
Oh
are we
man,
doing here, Dad? No autograph, nothing. No, like, and I was like, Dad, like, you suck.
he's got the picture though. That's the main
I
thing.
know.
He's got the picture.
I was like, Dad. I was like, you should have him sign the picture.
At least record a voicemail for you or
Yeah.
something.
I was like, what are we doing here? I was just like, Dad, I was like, Dad, you don't understand, like you don't just run into Ric Flair at a bar. Like, what, you don't just call Ric Flair and hang out with him. Like, come on now. And I don't know why the hell he was in Chicago. That's the first question I want to know is why did this man come to Chicago?
Ooh, would have been for AEW or something like that?
I don't know. It
Was
might have
Andrade or something?
it might have been.
Yeah.
I don't remember what, like, around the time it was. It might have been like around a pay-per-view because they obviously come here all the time.
Maybe he was selling some woo wings.
Maybe. Wooings?
Oh, by the way, Tino, I saw the funniest tweet today. Somebody shared, I don't know who actually did the tweet, but they said if Rhea beats Charlotte at WrestleMania, speaking of Flairs, if she doesn't put Dominic on her shoulder like Macho Man did with Elizabeth at the end of WrestleMania, then there's something wrong in this world.
Oh my God. I was hoping Ray was going to punch him so bad last time. I was just like, please beat his ass. But, that would be so great.
I'd lose my mind if she lifts him up on his shoulder and does that. That would be amazing.
And then if she gives him the title.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they recreate that. Because then, on the next Raw, they'd be like, Rhea and Dominic recreated this moment from WrestleMania, whatever year that was. What year was that? What WrestleMania was that? Like
that was at 1988, WrestleMania 4.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Dominic has been fantastic.
He definitely has since he's been the heel and everything. He's definitely gotten a lot better, and he's gotten to be one of those people that you hate right now, but like once he actually turns face, and then once Ray actually leaves and everything, and he actually gets into his own and everything, I think people are going to be like, damn, like Dom really did a lot.
I do love that they got the whole Escobar thing hooking up for Ray too.
Thank God, yes. I was worried about what they were going to do with Escobar, and
I love that guy, man. He is money.
So good. That's the one thing about like all these NXT guys. It's like I'm happy that they're there, and like hopefully they all have like some sort of way of like getting like over and everything, because they are all so good that people just don't understand, and that's why it makes me mad when people talk about like these NXT people. They haven't watched them. And they just think of like Karrion Kross as like a mask on Raw, or they think of like, and it's just like, no, you don't understand. Like, go back and watch NXT. And I was definitely one of those for a while. Like, I didn't start watching NXT for like the first 2 years, but then I went back and watched it, and then I watched it and then it changed and everything. And it's just like, people don't understand. Like, the glory days of NXT Black and Gold were like really good on, what was it, like Hulu? It was right because it was on Hulu for like an hour a week or whatever. I always forgot. I just always would catch up when I would go on Hulu.
Man, this is a good match. This is such a good match.
Yes. Comparing to his match the next year, I just found out that he's facing Albert and Test in a handicap match, and I'm not looking forward to watching that one tomorrow.
I
was like, damn. I was like, he goes from facing Ric Flair to being in a handicap match.
And trying to carry Nathan Jones.
Oh, God. Nathan Jones. How much? I mean, I feel like Rick should have just at one point dyed his hair red. It would have just made it so much better. Like, there's just no reason for the blood. Like, there is, but there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
The way I cheer for wrestlers are their in-ring work, Jordan says. You don't have just a favorite Jordan you just love so much, no matter how good or bad they are in the ring?
Boom. There you go. Taker's about to get busted open here now, thanks to the pipe.
Oh, there's the pipe.
There it is.
Oh. So when I've been trying to figure out. So I wonder. So when they get hit, they fall on the floor and they just cut themselves.
They blade. Yeah. Except that WWE doesn't show it on camera.
I remember the one time when somebody first caught that and they like shared it and it was like the biggest thing in the world and it was just like, damn.
Yeah.
I remember watching that, like the biggest top 10 secrets of WWE ever. I watched it for the first time and I'm like, shit. Because I was always I'm the only one that ever watched it in my family. My family's the family that, oh, it's fake, it's not real, it's scripted. Why are you watching this? Why are you watching two men? My stepmom used to go, she used to be, why are you watching these guys sleep? They just go out, they take a nap, they hit a couple bumps. We watch the Royal Rumble. She's like, this is the stupidest event ever. They're all laying around the ring sleeping, getting paid. I'm like,
I'm gonna go watch the Kardashians now.
It was more, I'm gonna go watch CSI than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, okay, well then you go watch killing people. I'm gonna go watch people fight.
Yeah, because it's the same thing.
Literally. Just because Rick's in tights don't make it any
Except these guys do their promo work without a script and they do it live, whereas the other show gets to do retakes, right?
Oh, true. That's big facts. They if they mess up, they get to retake it. Yeah. These guys, like who went out there and said Money in the Bank? Oh, Damian Priest said, "We're going to Money in the Bank." I mean WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or Elimination.
He didn't cover it up well though. With this guy gets me so mad.
Oh, so funny.
The figure four. There you go.
The finger four.
Such a good match.
The people in the crowd were so there was something about like the fans back then too.
Yeah,
like they
were
made it
watching it. They're into it.
Yeah.
Flair's face when Taker sat up. That's the biggest difference. They're actually watching what's going on, so they're into it, and they're not trying to get themselves over. There are some that try to get themselves over, but everybody tries to get themselves over now.
Oh yeah. And like we've said, the social media aspect, like you don't see anybody looking at your phones. All you see is eyes on Rick and Taker. Nothing else besides that, and maybe like the poster.
Yeah.
And it just as much as social media helps with everything, I wish it never came because it's probably like the most toxic, useless thing ever. Some of the things that people say is just ridiculous. And I'm one of those, I was always late to the party, so I was always late to being part of Facebook, Twitter, and everything. Some of the things these people say, it's like, what are we doing? Is this what we got to do with our lives, to sit on Twitter and talk about people? Go find something else better to do.
Honestly, the only reason I'm on there is just to promote the podcast and talk to guys like you that are actually.
If I didn't have a podcast, I would not be on social media at all.
Yeah.
I talk to my 3 friends and call it a day.
Yeah.
But you can't do nothing without social media now.
Yeah.
I forgot how good this match was.
It's a great match, man. Yeah, Ted just pointed out that Flair, he used to keep his blade taped to his finger. Here comes the big spine buster.
That's interesting.
Wham! I love it.
I didn't know that. True.
What a spine buster that was.
I didn't see a spine buster.
The fans were into it. They thought he was winning that match right there. What a shot on her.
Oh, you're talking about when Arm did this? The
spine buster, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a few minutes behind you. I don't know how.
You're behind now?
I don't know how that happened.
Did you pause? What's your time code?
Did I? You know what? I did when Kurt Angle, because I didn't see the roll up. I'm at 126.25.
Okay, I can go back 20 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, that's what it was. Is I went back because I didn't see how Kurt Angle did the pinfall, and I've really been trying. Like while I'm watching this, I'm trying to watch the matches as much as I can too, because I don't want to go back and rewatch the WrestleMania again because I just watched it. I'm like,
so that you've seen the Spinebuster now, eh?
Yeah, I just saw it, but I was confused.
Look at Arn sell. Like, look at him sell, man. Like,
so good,
so good.
Like in that, and Arm, I feel like because Arm's what is he in AEW now or no?
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Okay. I always get confused with like whichever ones. Like, and that's the thing. Like he made like this rivalry so much better and so much like.
I just love the way he goes to a knee, like to sell like how hurt he is and pops up, that kind of thing, right? Just like you would in a fight, you know?
Yeah, and it's like some of the selling jobs of these people, like they need to like look at that because like you know, like the selling is like you can sell, but there's some people that can't sell.
I don't know, Ted. If you're still in here, was Arn was having the arm problems at this time too, I think, if I'm not mistaken, where he was getting the numbness and stuff like that. So him pulling off that spine buster was pretty impressive.
That's right, true. Steve says he's leaving. Thanks, Steve, stopping by. Go get some sleep, man. I know it's late by you. Appreciate you coming and hanging out.
Thanks, Steve. Take care, man. Oh, Arn's busted open too.
Everybody's busted open. Tombstone.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3. Keep on rolling. What is he at now? What, 12-0? 11-0?
I think it was 12-0 at this point, yeah.
Evil man. He's
one of Taker's best WrestleMania matches. I mean, aside from anything with HBK or Triple H, but
oh yeah. And then he takes out the ref. Poor Charles Robinson. Bro, Charles Robinson's been around. He's an OG.
Yeah. Little Nate.
Did you just see he shaved his head?
Yes, I did. It actually looks better on him.
I got so used to the blonde hair that I was just see, stuff like this is like so he's 10-0.
10-0, okay.
So the stuff like this, like him doing that where he's counting, I've seen that part about 50 times. Never knew what WrestleMania it was on. So that's like one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to do this was because like there's so many things that like just going to make so much more sense, especially when they start doing all the promos for this year's WrestleMania. You know, all the highlights and all the WrestleMania throwback and the Snickers WrestleMania moment and blah, 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 everything that they got to come up with to promote it. I still want to see a WrestleMania commercial that is not Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Can we see the other ones, please?
They're going to do them, yeah. They got lots of time.
I know.
I'm telling you, folks, if you go back and watch any match on this might be the one to watch. This is really good. Besides Rock and Hogan, of course, but
yeah. Next one is Booker T and Edge. Michael Cole too. He
looks so young.
He does with the sparkling with the tips with the blonde
frosted tips.
The frosted tips. Man, Michael Cole really's done it all.
He has.
He's one
I love that Booker T's trying to look smart. He wants to be smart, so he wears the glasses. Man, Booker T is such a good character.
Oh, I love Booker T. The King Booker was my favorite.
Theory on relatives.
The new book. Hey, yeah. He's only a 5-time now. Sucker. Can you dig it?
Theory of relatives.
I feel like sometimes some of these promos were so much better than some like matches that like that's another thing. Why don't they do the New York thing anymore? Like I feel like they should do some type of that thing that they did back then. Like
I always
Like,
wanted to go and try that restaurant.
Oh, the Hard Rock.
No, the World or whatever in New York.
Oh,
The restaurant, the WWE one. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Ted, have a good night, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Ted, coming and hanging out. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. And like I said, BC, whenever you want to leave, bro, if you don't want to stay for the whole one, I understand. So,
Man, I'm having a good time here. You're gonna have to kick me out.
I mean, hey, that's
I'm
fine.
old. I might need a bathroom break at some point, though.
No, well, I was gonna say that too. I was just looking because I have the card. I was just looking at. I was thinking after the.
What's the P match?
Honestly, there really isn't one.
There isn't. No,
there is. It's the woman's match, but it's the second to last match. There's still like 6 matches left.
If I remember correctly, though, I think it was actually not a bad match. Though that match with the women.
Yeah, I can't remember too much, but I mean it's Trish, Lita, and Jazz. So I mean, I feel like it couldn't be.
It's because it followed Rock Hogan. I mean, what do you do after that?
Exactly.
Crowd is just wiped by that time.
Exactly. So I mean, we could either after this match, after the Hall and Austin, totally up to you. Whenever you gotta go, you let me know. I feel you.
Man, Booker was jacked at that point.
He really was. You think you know?
What was your favorite Booker? Was it
King
this
Booker.
stuff, WCW, or was it King Booker?
King Booker.
Yeah, same here.
I love the King Booker.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's ever a guy that besides Flair, of course, but that world heavyweight title looked good on. Like Booker looked like he belonged with that the big gold around his waist. It looked really good on him.
Yes, it did. I actually have one of the figures, and it's with his short hair, and I have the world title on him.
There you go.
If I could reach, I'd grab it, but I know I'm gonna reach, and all of them are gonna fall. I've been trying to organize everything. My family's moving to Wisconsin, so they're kind of giving me the basement. So I'm kind of reorganizing everything and trying to make everything a certain way because now I have the whole room to put everything the way I want it.
Nice.
Yeah. I got so much stuff I don't know what to do with, man. It's kind of gross.
I saw you did a couple of tours of the room, eh?
Yeah. I think I've done 2 of them,
and
I've done like 22, 23 collection episodes. Something like that. I didn't think I'd do so many when I first started this, and then it just started adding up, and I'm like, oh shit. Because next year is when Booker
I remember
faces.
what this was about. I forgot about this. This is all about a shampoo commercial. That's what this feud was based on.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
They weren't all winners back in the day.
Nah. But Edge and Booker T WrestleMania, I mean, I feel like that's still not an awful match.
Think about that. Think about these 2 main eventers, and there you go at WrestleMania.
That's because Booker main evented the following year. Well, not main evented, but he
co-main evented. You know,
who did he face for the
Triple H?
That's right, it was Triple H. We watching that one tomorrow, guys. WrestleMania 19.
Who's joining you for that one, bud?
Gizmo 305. He's the other collector in the.
Yep.
He's got a lot of. I told him because I had him on the show like a few months ago, and I told him like, bro, I'm like, if I had like, because he has like stuff like everywhere, like in his bathroom and everything. I'm like, bro, if my mom walked into the bathroom in my house and I had figures in there, she might kill me. I'm like, I don't know if I could do the bathroom, but I was like, I mean, hey, now it's pretty cool though. I never realized how many figures that they made though until I started collecting. I'm like, they literally have made so many from like 2008 on.
Yeah. Booker's so good.
I feel like this is a type of a match that they do now. If you notice how they kind of like do the same types of things at every WrestleMania.
As far as
like where like they have like one like rivalry, they have like if it's like Edge versus Booker, and then they have like kind of like how like Seth and Logan, or they have like the championship matches, and then they have like there's just some type of like similarities to these stories that I've noticed as I've rewatched these, that it's like it's kind of like funny that you could kind of like pick like what is gonna happen and like which type, because like I've noticed like rewatching these, I'm waiting now until like the middle of like March until they actually start like ramping it up, because that's what they obviously did back then, because they're not going to name a bunch of matches now because it's still only February.
It's like it's kind of like a placeholder for the guys because they definitely can pop into the main event, but they don't really have anything at the time.
Yeah. But I think like matches and rivalries like this are very good because it's like just seeing two guys go out there and just fight and have like a rivalry. They don't need to have a title. They don't have like something on the line. It's just going out there. I mean, I guess a commercial, but I mean like nothing like crazy. Like it's just like they need to do more, especially with the women. Like I want to see like a Trish and Mickey type rivalry again.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we see those anymore? Like we don't need Mickey. We don't need a crazy Mickey, but we could see like two women do some like stuff that would just like. There doesn't always need to be the women's title on the line.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what they used to do back in the old days. Is they'd have side feuds for people to keep them busy while somebody else is in the main event.
Yeah, and that's like how everybody got over because even like we both love Edge and Booker T. Like you're telling me, like this is a match that everybody remembered. Like I'm sorry, but I don't think like you probably don't remember this unless you're like a psycho wrestling fan like we are. But this is a really good rivalry and match.
Bit of a botch on that Frankensteiner from
that didn't look too good. I've noticed so many botches lately like that like happen a lot more than they did now, and it's just like damn. Believe.
Both women's divisions need something. They need something like some storylines because they don't have titles, right? They only have a couple of titles. That's it.
Yeah, they need something else to like fight for. They need something else to like do or something because it's just like there's just no reason for it. Like Tegan Nox is teaming with Natalya for what reason?
What? Yeah.
Like I love Tegan Nox, but she should not be fighting and teaming up with Natalya. I was wondering though, BC, do you want to set up a tag team match in this? We could have Teddy Long, the referee, me and you versus Booker and Edge.
There you go.
I didn't even realize that Teddy Long was the referee till Jordan just said it.
That's true, yeah. Eddie's looking heavier there than I'm used to.
Oh, I love Teddy. My favorite general manager ever.
Or we go one-on-one with the Undertaker.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about that. Counter, boom. To the ropes.
Oh, nice move by Booker.
Watching him do those kicks in the Royal Rumble this year compared to how he did them now, like then is like, oh my god, I was just like, please don't break a bone.
Yeah.
And then we got
Spinneroonie.
No, it's not just it's the WrestleMania Spinneroonie. Booker.
Man, he could get up for that axe kick. Holy crap.
Thank God he didn't try to do that on Wrestle. Oh, that would have been bad. Oh God, he would have fell or something bad.
What
the hell? Damn it. Booker.
It's been a pretty good match.
Yeah. And this rivalry really didn't start until like the beginning of like March. Like it only like it didn't like because this WrestleMania was March 17th or something like
it was really an early one. Yeah.
I saw that. I was looking at the day. I'm like, what? Really? Like, why was it so early?
Yeah, you're right. March 17th. Yep.
And then 19 was March 28th, if I'm not mistaken. I just got so used to them in April. I forgot there was a few in March. Can't even believe we're already heading up to another WrestleMania, though. I was talking about this on Monday. And Edge picks up the W, guys, just like that.
It kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did. I looked up, I was watching. I was like, oh, wait. It like took me a minute to process Edge won. I was like, there you go. His return home. Edge picks up the W. This is his first singles WrestleMania, too.
That's right, yeah.
And we all know where it went from here. Rated R Superstar.
I didn't pay attention to how many times they mentioned that he was in the crowd for WrestleMania 6 in Toronto.
Oh, God.
Another hurricane.
I think I've heard that story more than any story ever about how he was at WrestleMania 6. What you talking about? He's the Hurricane. I love the Hurricane. What's up with that?
Such a good character.
Oh,
I loved his feud with The Rock.
yes. Oh God. she just beat him with a 2, 3.
With the fry
We
of-
got a new
there's
hardcore champion, Molly Holly.
Toronto's own Jimmy Corderas there.
That's funny as shit.
I love how she loses the title. That's good little title to have for people.
Yeah, that the way they should have used the 24/7 title, but they did not.
Yeah.
Are you still good for this match, or you want to take a break now?
I'll go. Yeah, we can go for this one unless you need a break.
No, I'm still good. I just feel bad. I'm so used to doing this. I've kind of like gotten used to it, so I feel bad for the people because I know everybody's not used to doing like 2 or 3 hour live streams. So, but like I said, whenever, just let me know. Poison, awful.
The only thing I was disappointed about, I would have loved to have gotten Hogan and Austin at this card, but what do you do? I mean, Scott Hall's still a nice alternative.
And like I said, like this, when he was rolling them around the chair and shit throughout the whole arena and stuff, like this stuff is just so good. Where it's like NWO's looking for Net or Hall, and then Steve's out there, and it's just like, it's just so good. I kind of forgot about this rivalry too, like these two faced. Like I was thinking about it because I thought for some reason that Rock and Austin faced at 17, 18, and 19.
Right.
So I was trying to figure out, I'm like, but wait, Rock faced Hogan, so who the hell did Austin face? And then I saw Nat or Hall. Keep saying Nash. I don't know why. I've literally said Nash every time I've meant to say Hall since I've been talking about this one the last few days.
Hall took the stunner so good.
So good. I think Byron did a pretty good time last year. I thought Byron was gonna fly.
Yeah, that's right. I would have liked to have seen Hall and Nash as the outsiders in a tag team match in this. You get Austin and Hogan. That would have been fantastic, but
what do you
they couldn't come to a finish. They couldn't agree on a finish, right?
Yeah. WWF.
I freaking love Scott Hall, man. Love him.
No.
Again, watching 95 and seeing Razor Ramon and how good he was back then. He was the only reason that WWF was even watchable at that point.
Yeah. Jordan says that it can never happen. Hogan, I'm not laying down for Austin. Austin, I'm not laying. I just don't understand why some of these guys are like that. Why can't we just
Because whoever gets the win goes down as the greatest of all time, right?
Yep, I guess so.
Meanwhile, Flair's like, I'll lay down. Don't worry about it, boys. I'll lay down.
Oh, so funny. Scott Hall.
Yeah, because imagine if they had say they had Hogan take the title off of Jericho or something at No Way Out. Then you have Austin Hogan for the title. You could have, Rock and Triple H team up against the Outsiders or something like that for a tag team match.
Yeah.
Imagine something like that. They're never going to.
I like your ideas. I mean, that's why it's called fantasy booking.
Yeah.
When I first saw the NWO entrance, I got so confused. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, why did it all get black and white? And I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh man, it's hard to believe, to think that, say you and Justin were doing it, just you never actually have to live through the NWO when it actually happened, man.
Nope.
It was. I can't explain how crazy it was when Hall showed up on WCW, and it felt like he was coming, like he was an actual WWE guy that was coming in there.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's the thing, and it's just like some of these things were so good that it's like you have to go rewatch them because You just don't understand. And there's, like you just said, there's still not going to be stuff we understand because you
Yeah.
don't know what it was like right now. Like, obviously, like what was
Yeah.
going on, like, you know.
Or for
It's-
like people, I know like people shit all over Hogan now, right? For whatever he's done since his wrestling days have been over. But being there when Hogan turned heel and joined the NWO, especially as somebody who was a fan of his from the 80s as a kid, like it
yes.
was monumental, like him making that heel turn.
And that was and that was the thing, like with social media, like these heel turns, like you wouldn't know about it like 4 weeks in advance. Like it came
Yeah.
and it's like, holy shit, like
Yeah.
he's a
It was out
bad
of
guy now.
nowhere. Yeah.
That's why, like, I try to stay away as much as I can, but obviously I gotta see stuff because we do the shows and everything. But
Yeah.
it's like that's why it's like you also can't believe everything. Like you can see stuff, but there's sometimes they definitely do get you. Like
Oh,
like that Bray Wyatt stuff. Like for a while there, it was getting me, and that but it just doesn't happen that often. And I just
yeah.
cannot imagine what like the storylines that I'm watching like now. It's like just thinking about what was going on like in February of 2002 or 3.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like insane. Like I cannot imagine the fights that people would get in at high schools and stuff about WWE, NWO, WCW, and because it was cool back then. It was cool to talk
It
about.
was.
When
I
I
mean,
was in school, it was you're gay, you're lame, you like John Cena.
mm,
You don't like that. You don't like none of that. I'm just like, well,
no,
and
when it was like in the late 90s, I mean, people were getting heated over this because there was
Yeah.
WWF was finally number 2, right?
Yeah.
You finally had somebody taking over. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because you had like 2 distinct rosters and you're arguing, okay, who's got the better roster and everything? Who's better, Hogan or Austin or Goldberg or Austin or,
yeah. There was just so much competition, and I think the
Yeah.
competition is good.
Yes.
It makes everybody go out there and like, because if it was easy, then what would be the point of?
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to try.
Well, like when I rag on AEW for stuff or on our podcast, it's not because I want to see them go out of business or I hate them or anything like that. I'm just calling out, like, I wish they would do better. And because competition that's only going to make WWE get even better too, right? Because especially once you get people going back and forth, because you need those guys from AEW to become stars. So when they sign with WWE, it's a big deal, right?
Well, exactly, and that's like the thing, like Cody is like a perfect example. You saw like what Cody did and everything, and it's like you go back and like my friend is because he's joining me for WrestleMania 26, so I made him go back and rewatch the Road because he really isn't too much into it. So he's watching like the legacy and everything, like with Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, and Randy Orton. It's like look at that Cody Rhodes to what we're seeing now. It's like it's the completely transformation that he wouldn't have been able to do if he didn't do what he did.
Yeah.
And it's just like if we see MJF really show up in the Royal Rumble, you're gonna know exactly who it is, the devil himself, when he comes out that you might not know of. And that's what it's good wrestling. We're watching wrestling. Who cares what is going on? It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Like we all want to watch it. Like, can't we all get along? Like, obviously we're all gonna not like the same thing, but
that's right.
It's good to have your own opinions because if we were all the same, it would be stupid and boring.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on.
It's just this whole tribalism stuff. Like, like I don't even watch. I'll watch AEW pay-per-views, but I don't watch your weekly television right now because there's just too much on it that I don't enjoy. So I'm not going to sit there and go on a podcast and complain about them 24/7. I just decide, okay, I won't watch. Right. Meanwhile, I noticed like lately Impact putting on like bangers and having dream matches and stuff like that. So maybe I'm going to spend my time watching that a bit more.
Exactly. I don't watch too much Impact. People tell me I probably should, but I watch so much wrestling that it's like Thursday's the only day I don't watch wrestling. So it's like that's why like I tried to do this WrestleMania throwback because if I wasn't doing this, there would be like nothing on Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays when there wasn't pay-per-views on and everything. So it's like trying to find something to like fill that hole because
especially for you too, because you do so many live streams, so you have to be up on all this stuff, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, like with the live streams, it's like, especially with AEW, like there's some I'm just like, I just don't want to watch. I just want to go to bed. But it's just like, and it's just like, there was a few times I've definitely like not wanted to do this show.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, like I do it, but it's just like, they're not like the best shows. Cause like if I wasn't doing the live streams, I'd probably skip through and I just wait till 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock and just skip through the shows and watch what I want to watch and not watch, because there's so many things that we watch that just aren't necessary.
Yeah. P.S. underrated Austin match here is this one with Hall. Like, Austin takes a beat in this match, right? He's
really
like not
does.
dominating like usual.
No, that's what I've noticed so far with this match, and this is another one. Like I remember kind of watching, but like I really never understood the NWO too much. Like it took me a while. I have a really hard time understanding things, so it like takes me a little bit. So I kind of like really didn't understand things for like a long time until like probably like 5-6 years ago, like everything, because I was so like whatever, and just like seeing all of this is just so like crazy. And it's like, yeah, like a match like this, seeing like Austin struggle is not used to it, and seeing how dominant NWO really was at this point, because they were all in there and they were all like in such good, because they were all in good mindsets right at this time. Like it wasn't like bad or anything.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's the power of Vince too. Like whereas they were out of control in WCW, they respected Vince, and they knew they had to kind of toe the line because they were going to make a ton of money doing this, right?
Of money. I don't think people realize how much money is actually into this too. If like actually like, you know, and that's why like a lot of them though too do the movies and stuff, because they make so much money from Hollywood more than they actually would doing like wrestling, that it's just like.
And Hall was such a good worker, man. Like I'm always amazed that like he's such a big dude. He's 6'7", 280 or something like that. But as soon as it's time for him to sell, it's almost like he shrinks up into a smaller guy, so it looks convincing the guy that's beating on him.
Yeah. The great shape that he's in.
Oh, what a punch.
He is in pretty good shape. Whew. Did he say he's 7 feet tall?
Nash.
Yeah. Is he really?
Yeah.
Cool. How tall is Scott?
He might be 6'10" or something like that, but Hall's a legit 6'6", 6'7". Yeah.
He's tall. This is like low-key, like the first like match I've probably like watched of Scott Hall, like a singles match.
Really?
That like has not included like NWO and like tag team match.
Yeah. JR, damn it.
Damn, always.
Oh, I'm surprised that Nash didn't pull a quad there.
Hogan doesn't come out for this one, does he at all?
No.
It's so crazy too to like watch this too, and then like think about like WrestleMania 31 when Triple H and Sting come out, and then everybody comes out too. I was just thinking about that as I'm watching this. I'm like, I remember them all running out. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, this is like, oh, stunner.
I love this, all selling.
Stunner.
But and then he looks so much older at WrestleMania 31, eh?
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, well, and obviously it's so much like older away, but it's just like, damn, like seeing like how like some of these guys have aged. It's kind of sad. It's like, damn. I saw that picture of Triple H.
What a slide by the ref.
Yeah, that was a great slide, and then he got smashed by Kevin Nash, and now we need another referee. Like, can we talk about these referees, though? These referees got hurt, but they didn't get hurt that bad. They rolling around like they got, like, knocked the hell out. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Whoa.
We got two of them flopping around like fishes. Literally, one of the refs could get back in the ring. Like I said, that was their job. They said, just go out there and sell like you got your ass beat.
Hard to believe it wasn't long after this that Austin's gone, you know?
Yeah, how long
went home?
So how long after this was like
that was
obviously like
King of the Ring. So June of this year.
And then he came. When did he come back to face The Rock for 19?
Well, he faced Rock at WrestleMania of the 19, but I think he came back in like January, February, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Because then
Jordan
after WrestleMania,
Jordan will correct us on this.
Yeah, right. Probably. That's good though. I told Jordan he's the encyclopedia for the series in case I forget stuff. I've been trying I'm trying to keep up with like what's going on, like the stuff I'm watching. I'm trying to remember that's for tomorrow, not for today. Like
There's nearly 50 years of wrestling stuff rolling around this head. It's hard to keep it all straight.
I know, literally. There's so much, like there's just so much wrestling, like it's gross. The fact that the network just turned 9 years old too is kind of sick to think about. That it's been 9 years since that. I thought he was gonna do the stunner. Throw 1, 2, 3. Oh, Tim White, come on, man. Why did he roll all the way over there? For what reason? 2, 3. Oh, kick out. Texas rattlesnake. Stone Cold Stunner. Boom.
Boom. Here comes another one.
Boom.
Boom. I love that. Sell.
He's so 2, 3. I didn't know. I deadass thought Scott Hall won this match. I didn't know Austin won this. True. That's the other thing too. Like rewatching these two, like there's some people I forgot that, like especially like the first like 5 that I'm doing. Like there's so like I don't remember who won every match. So I'm like, okay.
He's got Molson Canadian instead of a Steve Weiser.
Steve Weiser. Coming up next, guys, we got the Fatal 4-Way match with Billy and Chuck, APA, the Dudleys and the Hardys for the tag titles. How did you feel about Billy and Chuck?
I liked it. I thought it was comical. I mean, it's a nice way to kind of get the whole badass Billy Gunn off of him, right? And do a different direction. And Chuck was a talented guy. I mean, they're a good tag team. Stupid gimmick, but good tag team.
I mean, they must have done something right to be in WrestleMania and the tag team match.
I mean, the marriage thing was kind of stupid. But
oh my god, that was just. I was just like, oh my god.
It's just WWE at that time, right?
Yeah, is that what we're saying? Sure.
There's some, like they say, they weren't all winners.
Nope. You're gonna have some good. You're gonna have some bad. And Stone Cold's getting drunk.
The imitation Biker Taker version of Chuck Palumbo was pretty good too.
Oh my god, Chuck Palumbo.
Yeah.
Who could forget about Chuck Palumbo? Man, he was so great. Him and Jamie Noble were probably like my favorite stuff with them.
Oh yeah.
What was that like I think that was like 2008, something like that. Because he wasn't in WWE for too long, was he?
Ooh,
Palumbo?
No, he didn't last too long.
That's the other thing. Some of these storylines that they've been saying, like some of the like Shelton and his mama only lasted like 4 months.
Yeah.
Like I swear I felt like that lasted like a few years.
Yeah.
Like there's some things that it's like that really only lasted that long. And Stone Cold.
Yeah, not a bad match. I mean, you know, it's not one that you expected like to go in the history books, but two good workers.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like a lot of these matches, like they're just they go out there and they're just going out and having like good matches. They're not like I wish we'd see more of these. We got WrestleMania Access. So I figured we could take one before the Hogan and Rock and then just finish the 3. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
So just because I don't think this tag team match is too long.
Yeah.
Probably like 10 minutes. It kicks ass, does it? Edge always, I don't know why, but this young Edge reminds me of like Shaggy, like the Scooby-Doo movies, like the real life.
Yeah, what's his name? Yeah.
Oh, I forget what his name is.
I know who you mean, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from Scream.
Yeah. Are you excited to see Scream 6?
Nah.
He said, nah. He said the first 2 were it. It's just so lame. They keep trying to remake these movies for no reason. It's just like, stop.
I know.
Man. I want to go to a WrestleMania Access. I've been to it like Sox Fest. Like it's pretty much WrestleMania Access for White Sox. I'd love to go to the wrestling one with as cool as it looks. I feel like it would just be a lot of waiting in line though.
Let the fans go nuts for being spat on by Triple H.
Oh yeah, you gotta love. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I'm ready to accept to be spit on by Triple H. Listen, I love the game, but like, nah. And that's the other thing. Like, I'm watching these, and like that little kid's like 26 now.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. Oh, so the video games too were so good. Here comes your pain. Shut your mouth. Just bring it. SmackDown versus Raws. I played too many video games as a kid. Ooh. Have you ever been to a WrestleMania?
No, never have. It's on the bucket list to sometime do it, but
that's why as soon as it's somewhere close to Chicago, I want to go like that. I don't. As soon as they announce it, that's all I want to do. Because I want to do like all of it. Like I want to go to the Access. I want to go to like Hall of Fame. I want to do like. I feel like it's the only way to do it is do the whole entire event. They made a statue of Stacy Keibler's ass and legs. That's fantastic.
2002 WWE. There you
Gotta
go.
love it. I wonder if she still has that. Imagine. Oh my God, these people so lucky, man.
You could tell Hogan was going to go face. Just look at him play into the crowd.
Yeah.
And he was jacked then, though. Holy crap. Look
he
at him.
really was.
Oh, he was training and saying his prayers and eating his vitamins at that point.
Yeah, he was. I can't all weekend. Gentlemen. Way tag team match. We got the 4-way elimination match, everybody, for the tag team titles coming up next.
And I love the APA.
Oh, they're so good. Bradshaw was always one of my favorites, and then once he turned to JBL and I realized it was the same person, I was like, "You suck." I was like, "It's like damn."
But he was a great heel as JBL though. He was so good.
Yeah,
he's a heat getter.
Definitely, there's a lot of those guys that I'm at the point where it's like I don't hate anybody. I love to hate them. Like I love to hate Austin Theory. Like Austin Theory, I think is going to be great. He's obviously done a great turnaround from carrying around an egg to.
You respect the work that they do, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's almost to me. That's why like I hate when fans cheer the bad guys that are really good at it because it's almost an insult to them that like. The whole point is they're trying to be the bad guys. You should boo them just as a thank you for what they're doing, right?
Exactly. Because they're going out there and they're just putting on a performance that, you know, Theory is like, I don't know if he'll be the next John Cena, but I definitely think he'll be due.
Give Theory 2 years. He'll be on top of the WWE. You know, that guy will be world champion.
Oh, no, for sure. I think he'll be world champion.
Hopefully, would this be the peak of Saliva's career right here, doing the entrance for the Dudley Boyz?
Shit, maybe. I mean, the fact that they just got to like dance with Stacy and the Dudleys is pretty cool.
Exactly.
Shit, I didn't realize this is when Stacy joined the Dudleys too.
Yeah, very strange pairing.
Yeah, it was. Seems like it was out of nowhere. I feel like it was one of those. Stacy walked in and they were like, "Well, you're joining the Dudley Boyz."
We need you on TV. Let's put you with the Dudley Boyz.
Because after she got RKO'd by Randy, I don't know how well.
That was an amazing moment, Randy. That was pretty much where Randy made a name for himself. It's just
I feel like that's when people started hating Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Man, I hope he comes back soon. I miss Randy.
Yeah. He's the guy I'd like to see break the record.
Yes. I want John Cena, obviously, but I feel like Randy may deserve it a little bit more, obviously, because he's been there, he's done it, he's never left and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I like both of them, but I don't know. Either one, though. I feel like one of them should at some point.
I love the generic saliva shirt on the guitarist for Saliva. It's like just saliva written on the front of it.
It wasn't that hard. I guess all you needed was the name on the T-shirts back then. These WrestleMania shirts are really cool, though, jerseys.
Yeah. Although I just picture Shane McMahon whenever I see one of those baseball
every
jerseys.
time, and then it's always the same thing. It's always just him, and then the name or whatever, and then it's just the color and the logo of whatever pay-per-view or whatever year it is. So funny.
Are you doing? Did you do WrestleMania 15, or are you going to do WrestleMania 15?
So for this one, I did 16 through 33. I'm thinking next year to do 1 through 15.
Okay.
Because I've never seen any part of any of those. From Mike Tyson to Stone Cold, anything. So I feel like that would be kind of cool because I'd be reliving it for the first time pretty much. So I'm thinking about doing that next year. But
if you do that, sign me up. I will join you for those ones, man.
Let's go. There we go. Yeah, because I figured I'd do these first because I obviously remember like most of them from 22 on.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. But yeah, somebody said that they're like, you got to do all of them. I'm like, listen, I'll be here, and I needed to start this in November.
Yeah, but I just remember Shane had he was fighting X-Pac or whatever, and he had the X-Punk baseball jersey on there. It's like, oh my gosh.
What year was that? 15?
That was 15. That was 99? Yeah.
Yeah, because 16 was 2000.
Yeah.
Because the first Mania was what? It was
1985.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The Hardy Boys competed at a lot more WrestleManias than I thought that they did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that they competed so many like in the teens. I always thought it was just always like the Money in the Bank ladder matches, and then when they did their one feud at 25.
Yeah.
Oh.
Such a good theme song.
This is another one. Every time I hear it, I think of Billy and Chuck.
Yeah.
No matter who it is, I always think of Billy and Chuck, and like the wedding comes to my head, and these two and the bandanas, and the fact that this man is still wrestling and has not aged in 20 years is kind of gross.
And is jacked.
Literally. The only difference is we don't got scissors.
Yeah.
The fact that little kids are walking around with scissors too is so funny. It's so bad. It's so bad. Maybe that's why I was so messed up as a kid. I was going around telling everybody to suck it and stuff, and you can't see me, and maybe that's why they're trying to make the kids more PG. That's what they want to say. Sure.
I was doing the Hogan pose down, putting the hand to the ear, Man, Chuck was a big dude.
He was. Yeah. That is Chuck. Wait, I'm dumb. That's Chuck Palumbo. I'm stupid. I didn't need that. I'm an idiot. That literally just went right over my head. I didn't even put that two together till you just said that.
Yep.
Funny
after
as
he did
hell.
this, after he did this, he did the biker gimmick. Yeah.
Oh. That's so funny. I didn't even realize. That's great. So I thought Brett and Austin was the 14. So Brett and Austin was 13.
13,
Shawn and Austin was 14.
Yeah.
And Brett and Shawn, number 12 was that the screw job?
Survivor Series 97 was a screw job. WrestleMania 12 was the 60-minute Iron Man with Brett and Shawn.
Okay. That's what it was. Okay. I always get confused with those, and then 15 too.
Yeah, the 13 match with Brett and Austin is my favorite of all time.
Is it? See, I've never seen that. I've never watched WrestleMania 13.
Not the Mania. I mean that match. That match is
That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of people say that those Manias, there's a lot of good moments, but there's not one that like stands out as like the best WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to watch number 1, and I don't want to watch any of it until I do it next year because I don't want to know anything.
Sure.
So I want to go in there and just watch it blind as like I was watching it, like just like and see. Because I've seen that True Story to WrestleMania DVD about like 50 times.
Yeah.
So like I kind of know like the story and how it kind of came about, but I want to like, because wasn't it in like 3 different places, or was that?
That was WrestleMania 2.
2. Okay, 2.
Yeah, actually, it was Chicago was one of the places, then New York and LA.
That's right. Okay. I feel like I should know these things.
It's okay.
But
Okay.
then I'm like, wait, I wasn't even born yet, so leave me alone.
This is all your wrestling journey, your education, right?
Yeah. That's why we're all just going to go back and live it together here on the next 2 Road to WrestleManias. Next year,
There you
we'll
go.
just start it like in December.
Yeah.
Or in January, once the new year begins.
What's amazing? Oh my God! Did he ever toss? Oh man, Faarooq was just a badass. Oh my God!
Oh, he was. I love Faarooq, and I feel like sometimes Faarooq may not get like as much credit as he deserves. I feel like
Completely.
JBL gets way more than Brad, or you know. Which one do you feel like people are more to think about of Bradshaw? Like, do you think it's 2 different characters, or do you think if people see Bradshaw, they just see JBL?
I think they've almost erased Bradshaw from their memory, and they just see it as JBL, right?
And APA is eliminated just like that.
But what's amazing to me is people, I don't think, have an appreciation for how big these dudes were back then. But then when you see a Billy Gunn stand next to the AEW roster, you realize these guys were giants moving around like this back in,
They were huge compared to like Rey Mysterio's or like Kalisto's or Ray Phoenix's. Like these guys, like massive. And obviously that's why Vince loves these guys so much, is because that's what he's obviously all known, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, and also he loved the factor of when somebody walks through an airport, you go, who the hell is that and what's he do, right?
Yeah.
That's the other side. Because you look at Matt and Jeff, right? Legit Matt and Jeff are over 6 feet tall. And if you look at Matt Hardy today standing next to guys like, I don't know, Private Party or something like that, he's bigger than them.
Yeah.
But these guys look tiny compared to like an APA or Billy and Chuck.
They really do.
It just amazes me, like, what these guys could do as far as flying through the air and the abuse they did to their bodies.
Yeah, and it definitely makes sense why some of these guys are the way they are now. Some of the and it's just like, it's like we loved it so much, and it's just like, damn, like,
Jesus, Jeff, get a tan.
He just smacked her ass, and then he kissed her. Troll, I want to be Jeff Hardy.
Tosses her aside.
Hell yeah. Jeff needs a tan, and Stacy needs look like Sheamus. I hope Sheamus becomes a Grand Slam champion at WrestleMania.
Me too. Because then it clears Gunther up to go after the big title.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that might be the guy who ends up eventually taking it off of Cody.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Not for a while, but I think maybe.
Cody's even said that he'd run that back after. I cannot believe Gunther broke Rey Mysterio's record and still lasted that long.
Think about what he came from, like just a couple of years ago. Like I know everybody complains about, Gunther, they made him get in shape and he doesn't look the same. Well, look at what he did. He just broke a record
God.
He's getting pushed to the main event. So it was worth it for him to do what he did.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like the name change, like it happened, but I feel like it's kind of like it is what it is. Like,
I don't even mind Gunther. It sounds like more tough than Walter, if you ask me, but that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, and like there could have been way worse names that we couldn't have given them. So
you could have called Adolf.
Very true. Very true. Yeah,
absolutely. And now they have Imperium back. That's all it's about. Like as long as you have that gimmick.
Yes, and that was the thing. Like with Giovanni Vinci, I think Giovanni Vinci was doing good on NXT. But I think putting them with Imperium, that eventually, like, I think Ludwig and Giovanni could go after the tag titles too.
Yep.
And
then
imagine if
you
could
have the bloodline Imperium type of thing going at it, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say. Is if they all become champion, it's like another way of to make another strong force over.
Yep.
Because then who the hell's gonna beat Gunther?
Yeah.
I couldn't even I couldn't even tell you. I almost said Walter again.
Well, and that's the intrigue, right? That
shit, he could be champion like Bruno Sammartino.
The face Austin Theory beating Gunther, right?
Oh my god.
Because that's your Cena right there is Austin Theory. I mean, he even looks like the dude.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird that, like, because that's like when I really, like, I remember I was at my neighbor's house when John Cena came out and did that promo with Kurt Angle. So, like, I vividly remember, like, where I was at and what I was doing and everything. And it's like seeing what Theory is doing now, like, especially like recently from like what he's done from what he was doing.
Yep.
It's just crazy to see the identical and see like how he's growing and everything, and like especially the press conference. I think the press conference was definitely a breaking out moment for him.
It was. That was a good job they did on that. Yeah.
Because he looked strong. He looked like $1 million. He looked everything.
Yep.
Matt,
people seem to forget. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just reading something what Jordan said. He said that Matt had a bum leg or Matt had a deformed hip.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's painful to watch Matt Hardy try to get off the mat now, like, because it's just all those leg drops just ruined him, basically.
Yeah. But go ahead. Sorry, I was just reading. I'm trying to keep up with the comments so I don't get behind.
No, I was going to say, it's almost like people forget that Cena started as a heel, much like Theory, and then he became the guy he became, and that's what they're doing. It's so much easier for them to start a guy off as a heel and then get him over as a face and try to get him over as a face beginning. Like, look what happened with Rocky.
Yeah. Or even like the Chosen One. They tried so hard to make Drew McIntyre this guy and that guy. And it's just like, you know, because it's like these guys come in, you want to hate them, but then they do something that is kind of like, damn, like we can relate to them. Like once I kind of knew like Theory was at the Royal Rumble when Edge won it back in 2010 and he was in the crowd. And like thinking about that, it's like that is so cool to think about. He was literally in the crowd at 13 and now he's gonna be facing John Cena at WrestleMania most likely.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool. And like that's something that like you kind of relate with where it's like, oh my god, I kind of like Theory now. That's like a cool ass moment. And then seeing how little he looked and compared to now, like what the hell happened to this kid? He was a scrawny ass little kid that probably got his ass beat all the time.
Yeah.
And now nobody wants to mess with him.
It's scary how similar his physique looks to Cena too. Like it's just scary, right?
It's like they just said, let's make another John Cena, and they made Austin Theory.
Remember what was the guy that was used to be in the primetime players with Darren Young? Remember he looked like Black Cena?
I love Darren Young. The primetime
he was good. He was good.
So good.
That tag team was good.
Yeah, they definitely got over at one point when they did that Elimination Chamber tag team match. I was definitely hoping they were going to win, but of course, got to give it to the New Day. Gotta love it.
Kind of tired of the New Day, I got to say.
I know.
Although I do hope that Big E comes back at some point.
Eventually. He's been on up, up, down, down a lot recently. It's nice to see him at least do something with WWE.
Yeah. Although I'll never begrudge a guy if he doesn't come back because of, Jesus, a broken neck, right? You know?
I was watching that SmackDown at my cousin's house, and my cousin was watching it with me. And even when that happened, he's like, I think he broke his neck, and he's like 12. Yeah. And it's like that fact that he even knew, and it was just like, oh my God.
It was scary to watch.
Bubba Dudley.
How about the fact that Bubba's still going?
What, right now, or is back?
Yeah, he's still going in Impact. Yeah.
Is he still going in Impact?
Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Boom.
He's on Busted Open all the time, isn't he?
He
isn't
is,
that where he hangs out all the time? Kurt won the Olympics with a broken. Yes, we know. Kurt won the. He won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck. We know.
You got it. It's like Seth freaking Rollins. You got to put in broken freaking neck.
Yeah, right. I've gotten so.
Oh man, did you see that?
Did he just push him off the top rope?
Devon went through the table hard there.
Is that what he? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
I heard it. I
Billy
didn't see
pushed
it.
him off the top. Yeah.
Okay. DDT or Swanton, Twist of Fate, Swanton, the Dudleys.
Jeff looked like he broke his back there.
2, 3, and the Dudleys have been eliminated. Billy and Chuck.
And Billy and Chuck's tan game is on point.
It really is.
Jeff Hardy's not so much.
No. He literally looks just like my cousin right now. It's so funny. My cousin literally like has like this. He doesn't dye his hair anymore, but like when he was like in like his mid to like young, early, late 20s, he would. And it's so funny because he just looks just like Jeff Hardy, and with the non-tan, it looks even more like him. I'm happy that there was some type of decent news with him. I understand that he's got to still do a lot more stuff, but as much as I've loved the Hardy Boys, seeing all the stuff that he's went through, it's awful. And I met them back in April. It was actually the last signing that Jeff did before everything happened, because after that one, he stopped going, and it was just Matt. And it's like knowing that was his last signing and everything, and knowing that was like, you know what I mean, and knowing everything that was kind of going on is just like, it's like I kind of wish I would have like got a couple more figures signed by them just to have a couple more minutes to talk by them, because there was like a limit of one, but you could pay an extra like $20 to get a couple more signed. And it just like it's so crazy to think about, like, you know.
I just want to see him get healthy, man. Like,
like, I don't want to see him wrestle if that's the case. Like, you know.
He's obviously fighting some demons or something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if he could just have a normal, healthy life, it would be so much better. Because the stuff that the Hardy Boys have done is like a fan of them is like just like.
Like, what else is he going to do besides what he's already done in his career?
Yeah.
It's not
mean, he really can't do anything besides if he's going to win a championship, and he's not going to win a main championship, but no matter where he goes.
Or he does these stupid hardcore matches where he puts his body through even more, which, you know.
Like the Darby Allin one, as much as I love that rivalry and everything, it was so good. Like, that stuff was so bad. And Chuck and Billy just won by hitting Hardy with the tag titles. And Billy and Chuck walk out of WrestleMania as your tag champs. Did you say Brian Greasy?
No, I said Greasy.
Oh, this is a Brian Greasy. I'm like,
Brian
wait,
Greasy,
what?
The old quarterback.
Oh my God, who could forget about Brian Greasy? I don't know why, but have you ever thought Billy Gunn reminds me of Dolph Ziggler a lot? I don't know if Dolph Ziggler... At
this era, yeah.
If Dolph Ziggler maybe got a lot of stuff from him, but a lot of the things that Billy Gunn does, I feel like I see a lot of Dolph Ziggler in.
Yeah, the whole hip swivel, the blonde dyed hair and all that stuff.
The blonde dyed hair.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad tag team match. So, guys...
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for a tag team match at a WrestleMania, I feel like there's been, again, like a lot worse ones. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put the poll up for the next one. If you want to go to the bathroom, I'm just going to listen to this promo.
Yeah.
And everything. I gotta go check on my grandma, so I'm going to go check on her and then go to the bathroom. So then
all right, you're just going to leave her playing, are you?
I'm going to pause it whenever the promo starts for Rock and Austin.
Okay.
And then I'll so whatever that is, whenever you come back, I'll just tell you the timestamp if you want to just let it play out. So.
All right, I'll be right back then.
All right.
I want to make sure
That jabroni. Everybody, we're going to let BC take a break. Your boy Tino's going to take a break here in just a second after we see Nash and Hall have a little conversation with Hulk Hogan. Molly Holly. She's running for the Hardcore Championship. Oh, shit. That's right. This is where, And then Christian. That's right, Christian. Dolph is a mix of Michaels, Billy Gunn. Yeah, that's a good point. A mix of Billy Gunn, and that's a good point. Molly. Well, guys, next match is Rock and Hogan. So we're going to pause it here. The timestamp is 2:25:51. So if you guys want to get in the groove and come back with me and my man BC, Tino's going to go take a break, go check on Grandma, and we'll be back here after this commercial break to finish out WrestleMania 18 and get ready for WrestleMania 19, guys. So stay here, listen to some music, and don't go anywhere.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change. Play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Face on when I chase like that, yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise if you hate on that. I don't play both sides, don't need no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me slack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. That's how you get tough. Calluses on my hands so rough, yeah, I call your bluff. I'm not the one, mess with me, come down with guns. I'm so done, you had your fun, and now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip with your name on it, but I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. Man, I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb. A new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never.
And we're back, everybody. Thank you for coming back.
Sorry about that.
Maybe you just forgot. That's no, that's okay. Take your time. I feel you, man. So, guys, like I said, we are 2 hours and 25 minutes in. We're just getting ready to watch the Hulk Hogan versus Rock match. We got the timestamp on there, so you guys know. I'll leave it on there so everybody can get ready to join us. We got 3 matches left. We're almost done here, everybody. So, thank you guys all for coming hanging out. Let's get ready, though. Icon versus Icon. Right? Isn't that what this was hyped up to be? Or no?
Where you at there, timestamp wise? Do you know?
2:26:23.
2:26:23. Okay.
They just started the little video package. What are you watching it on? Are you watching it on like a
Peacock.
Fire Stick?
I'm on Peacock. I just I got a VPN. I'm just watching on the computer.
Oh, true. I got you. I miss the network so much.
Yeah.
So much easier. I forgot Steve had it when he was talking to me and Anthony about it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm watching it on the network." I'm like, "That's right." I'm like, "You're so lucky." Well, so what do you got? What do you got to eat? What kind of snacks you got?
Sorry, man.
The what?
A sweet and salty granola bar.
Hey, that works.
Mm-hmm. I need a little chocolate to get the energy going.
Yeah. We would have to drive to Wheaton. I'd have doctor's appointments out there. My dad always halfway through we'd have to stop so he'd get a Snickers bar or a Three Musketeers. I need my chocolate. Like, I get it, Dad. Fuck.
Great video package, by the way.
Yes. This, like we were talking about too before we started recording and a little bit in the beginning, like this, the build of this was so good between these two with everything that it was just like I honestly like forgot like how like heated like the rivalry really was between these two, and how personal it really got with like the semi truck and everything, and then this is just still I still not used to him sometimes in the NWO gear. I like him more in the NWO gear, but I think I've seen him so many times like in the like American gear, like the regular gear, that I'm just not used to it. My fans. Oh, he's just jealous because he lost fans. You take a hammer. Oh, that was at the Allstate. I always know because it's the giant, big American flag that they have in the back at the Allstate.
Right.
So it's like every time I see a highlight and they get to see the flag, I'm like, oh, there it was. I didn't realize how much they went to Chicago back in the day, though. Like
they did back in the day, yeah.
They come here a lot, but they don't come here as much as they used to because I'd be going all the time.
Well, Austin always said that his favorite arena to wrestle in was Allstate.
Who did? Austin?
Austin, yeah. Or what's the one with? Is it? Yeah, it's Allstate that has the wooden ceiling or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said the sound there was just amazing.
It still hasn't changed. It looks the same from when it did back in here. It's so funny.
Listen to that crowd.
I just got this action figure, like literally like the exact same attire from this like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so funny like to see like how like they like take just the tires from like events and just turn it into an action figure. And the detail that they get into now with these things is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, back when I was a kid, it was the old LGNs.
Yeah.
The LGNs, yeah. The
I
big
see
rubber
those.
things.
I see those now, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay, then. I'm like, sure. But then my dad's like, yo, those are the ones I collected. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, okay, then, Dad.
You could have killed a man with that thing. It was so hard.
I show him the ones that they have now, and there's just like a little flip, and they like move so much, and he's like, nope. I'm like, yup.
You only have one pose with the LJN.
Yeah. Now you can make any type of pose. You could turn John Cena into Kane. You could turn. I had somebody text me. I was watching this rivalry, and Rock put on Hogan's Hogan's gear, and I was like, why didn't we get like a Rock like Hulk Hogan? And somebody like sent me a picture of them, made a custom Hulk Hogan as the Rock. Or the Rock is Hulk Hogan. I'm like, you guys are like crazy. I'm like, I don't even want to know what's out there. Jordan said, listen to when the match first starts, 100% crowd invested.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are bought in 100%. It's those days.
Get ready, Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The transition into the black and whites of the color, too, was so good.
Yeah. Hogan just jacked out of his mind here.
Literally. Jeez. That's ridiculous. Smell what the Rock is cooking. So how are you feeling about this tag team match on Monday? Do you think that Bayley just cost his Becky and Lita, and we see a 6-woman tag? What do you think is going to happen with those girls?
Oh, sorry, man. You just you cut out there for a bit.
Oh, what about now? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I said, what do you think about the tag team match on Monday? Do you think Bayley just cost his Becky and then they do a 6-woman tag?
Well, I keep hearing the rumors about Trish, but I'm not certain that she's going to be there or not. I keep hearing Bayley talking about her dream match being a 1-on-1 versus Lita, so I get a feeling that you might be onto something, that she costs them the match, but then it leads to Lita and Bayley 1-on-1. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
And then what is that? And then if it's Lita and Bayley, then what does Becky do? Is my question.
Yeah, good question. What does she do? Does she somehow get mixed into the Asuka Bianca situation, or does she find another opponent? Ronda again, or something? Although Ronda and Shayna would probably face damage control.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
If they don't do the 6-woman tag, that's what I was thinking, because I feel like that would be like a way for like Ronda to fight for a title, but it's not the main title. Even though Ronda doesn't need to fight for a title, they love to have Ronda fight for the title.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if they were to somehow do it where they could have them win the titles, have Shayna and Ronda be the champions for a little bit, and have somehow have Ronda turn on Shayna, or have Shayna turn on Ronda, and like get Shayna over as like a singles competitor. Like, I feel like Shayna is one of those that people forget what she did in NXT. Like, she's good if she's booked right, but she just is not being booked right at all. It's like she could be a future champion if done correctly.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that was just something I was thinking about, because that was what I was thinking about for the tag titles. But then the Lita came back, and then it was like, well, what are we doing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they're setting it up, but it'll be interesting to see. I guess the easy out is the 6-woman tag match, but then the titles are kind of ignored at that point.
Well, exactly. And they've already been ignored. And like Jordan said, these guys aren't even talking, and this is the moment we see everybody, like, when they do the little video packages, you know, and it's just like that's the thing. Like, when I watch, I'm like, this, like, I've seen this moment like 50 times, but I've never seen the match all the way through, because they've literally shown it so many times.
It's just two guys who know how to control the crowd, right?
The clout. They know how to I mean, maybe the clout. Oh, so good. Let's go. It is fight night. What is it, Saturday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. I forget.
It's Saturday, yeah.
It don't feel like it. It feels like I don't know. It feels like a Sunday. Maybe, I don't know.
And Hogan's like 49 here, too. That's the other thing that people forget.
He's 40 in this?
He's 49.
Oh, 49. I'm like, wait.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah. He's born in 53, so he'd be 48. 48.
Oh, my God. He was born 20 years exactly after my grandma. That's funny. My grandma literally just told me, she was just like, I was born in 1935. And I was like, oh, my gosh.
Go, Grandma.
I was like, this is fun. Like, that's crazy. I was like, so how was the first Super Bowl?
Man, ask her tons of questions about her childhood. Learn about that stuff, man.
I
What
try.
time was like, yeah.
Oh, I try. My uncle, before he died, I did the same thing, and I started asking him stories, and him telling me all these stories about like the war, because he was like a war veteran and everything.
Yep.
And it was like, oh my god. Saying it's like some of these stories that like they have, like it's just so crazy. And that's crazy to think about, that Hulk was that old, and now to think like he's even older now, and it's like, but he's still in decent shape at this time.
Yeah. Well, he still can move at this point. Like his back isn't completely gone at this point.
Oh, his back's gone now, right? Like he
Yeah.
can't even do anything.
This is, I know everybody thinks it's all it is just the whole crowd thing, but this actually was a well thought out match. They did a good job with this.
Yes, they did.
I mean, Rock played heel to start off with, and then the crowd finally got with him, so they went with that. You got a baby
Rock's
face,
what,
baby
28
face.
in this, I think they said.
Something like that, yeah.
And that's crazy to think about, like how like Rock was like still like really young around this time too. Like imagine if he would have stayed in wrestling, like, and not went to movies for like all of like WrestleMania 20s. Like imagine the matches we could have seen.
Yep. Yeah, Rock was 29 at this point.
Yeah, because the last one he competes at is 20, right? Before he comes back with Cena.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he has that Rock and Sock reunion with Mick Foley
against Evolution.
Yeah.
Ooh. The crowd is just everything they do. The crowd is just fired up for it.
Man, the crowd, the crowds like then were just like, and obviously it's social media and everything, but like, just imagine if like everybody just put their phones down. Like this is how the crowds would always be.
That's right. Yeah, because they're distracted now. That's the only reason why. I mean, there's people still putting on some good stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I hate, like, I wish I had somebody that would like be able to post certain things, because I hate that like I have to post 2 wins, because then there's a lot of things I miss. And I'm trying to like do so many other things to the point where it's like that was like, that's the thing. Like there's like times where I'm like watching some and it's like I missed it because I'm sitting there like having to be on Twitter or post something or tweet something or retweet something, and it's like I'm like, oh, why did I do this? Like I keep telling myself, just put your stupid phone down. Yeah. But then it's like you have to do it because you have to make sure you're like, because you got to be that first person to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you want to be. Already lost the hat. He puts on the NWO one. Let's go. Fucking Rock, man. So funny.
Such good workers.
Yes.
Like, I know people equate workers now to like, oh, how many moves they do, but I mean workers as in working the audience and stuff like that, right?
Well, yeah, there's so much more going on in that you have to do than just go out there and performing. That's just like with like a podcast. Like there's so much more than us just going out there and pressing record. Like a lot of people don't really understand what that goes into it. Like there's so much stuff that these guys have to do that, like, you know, and then them having to talk to each other, making sure the moves hit and the camera angle, or like how Cody missed the hard camera. Like he talked about that for like a week straight. He's like, I kept missing the hard camera. I got yelled at.
Right. And
it's just like, you know.
And there's a reason why like WWE is so diligent about that compared to like, say, like an AEW might be a bit more loosey-goosey about it, right? Because they're trying to make these guys stars all the time.
Yeah.
They want to capture those moments.
You can't make everybody a star. Like, and that's the thing. Like I feel like at this time, like everybody wasn't like so like about themselves. They were like all a group. Like now it's like I want to be the main event. Like if everybody worked together and was in their own spot, I feel like it would work very well. But everybody wants to be the main event.
Well, like both Triple H and Jericho went to Vince and said, Vince, put us on before these guys. This is going to be the one that steals the show. I mean, that says a lot.
Like this should be the main event right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
In reality, because we're gonna watch this, and then it's like, well, we still have 2 matches left, and it's like
the crowd's exhausted by the end of this match, right?
Shit, like I'm exhausted, and we're just sitting here, like I feel like we're watching, like this is WrestleMania, we're watching on like a Sunday, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's where it's like it's just like, you know,
like
because this is the match everybody was looking forward to, and then it's like, well, it happens now. It's like there goes the. I forget what the word is, but there was a word I heard. It's like a feeling that you get that like once it happens and it goes away, then it's like you're just like
the euphoria.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah,
and you had the happy ending because you had Hogan turn face. You know, that was the happy ending. So you didn't need a championship happy ending.
because
I
then
just yeah.
because then he turns back into the All American, right?
Yeah, well, he stays with the black and white for a few weeks, and then he goes to the red and yellow, back to the red and yellow.
Once the winter hits in like football's kind or like not even like late summer, I should say, I'm gonna go back and watch some of like that because I'm gonna need a break from wrestling after WrestleMania. That's all I've been watching. I stopped watching any other TV shows besides the Road to WrestleMania, so I'm gonna need a break. But I want to go back and watch those and see like that, like how he changed like back and forth and how like they came and everything because obviously I haven't seen like everything.
Well, it was like the next night he was in Montreal, and the fans gave him like a 10-minute standing ovation.
They went to Montreal too. I feel like I did like back in the day a lot more than they.
Montreal's a big wrestling town.
Oh, they go crazy. The fans are insane.
Again, well, perfect example. The whole Elimination Chamber, Sammy. The fans were into it.
Sammy didn't talk for 5 minutes, and they like made so much noise.
But even during the match with Roman, even the match with Roman, right? The fans were so into it that Sammy didn't need to win. He didn't need the title because he got his moment with the fans.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, everybody wants him to win the title so bad, but it's like, well, then what? Like, that messes a lot of other things up. And it's just like, you don't want to just put him in there just to put him in there. Like, they were able to fix the Daniel Bryan thing, yeah. Mm-hmm. But, like, they didn't have somebody like Cody Rhodes that was winning the Royal Rumble. They had Batista win.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know.
It's like they didn't know what they were going to do with Batista, right?
Yeah. They thought Vince low-key thought bringing Batista back for WrestleMania 30, main eventing, Hall of Famer and everything would be a great idea, and it did not turn out to be a good idea at all.
Like, think about it. You're going to have Roman, who's on an unprecedented title run, lose his title at a month before WrestleMania. Then you have the whole Cody story gets completely screwed up. And then you have two faces against each other, so you don't have that great moment for Cody beating Roman at WrestleMania. It's just
exactly.
They're not going to do that.
There's too many complicated things to go into it.
Like, I equate Sammy to being like in the Mick Foley position now. He became a star, and he will win that title eventually, but it's not his time, right?
Yeah, and he's going to, and when it does, it's going to be one of the greatest. He's literally going to have a documentary.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I hope that they have some of that footage that they had with the conspiracy where he was walking around saying he was going to make a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Because in reality, like he's literally like become from like even like I was talking about action figures earlier. They were like his action figure sales has went up like 70% since the Bloodline storyline because all of a sudden everybody wants a Sami Zayn, and now the prices for his figures are like ridiculously high, and it's just like that's how popular somebody can get, and it's just like. It's going to be so great. And Mick Foley is the perfect example because I feel like Mick Foley was like a Daniel Bryan, was like a Sami Zayn around like the Attitude Era. Mm-hmm. Because he was the guy that everybody wanted to win but never got the opportunity. And then Linda brought him back for WrestleMania 2000. And then, you know, it's just like... And then even like the storyline with Edge at WrestleMania 22, I thought that hardcore match was like phenomenal.
Yep.
From what I remember.
The other thing is, without Sammy winning the title, and now if him and Kevin Owens win the tag titles, you're now going to elevate Owens back up into that scene again. You might even see Owens get another run with the world title.
Well, and I think Owens deserves it because Owens, I feel like got kind of like SOL on like everything that like happened with like the Universal Championship and everything.
Yep.
Because he was the one, like in reality, he's the one that really, besides Finn Balor, was the one that made a name for that championship.
Yeah.
When he won it, and then he helped Triple H, and then he had the rivalry with Jericho, and then like Jericho and Owens should have been for the title at WrestleMania that year. That 33. I think I still think at least.
Yeah.
And it just
I'm not normally someone who likes having the split titles. Like I like having one champion as the top dog type of thing. But this is a time when you could justify having a couple of titles, and like the Universal and the World title.
Yeah. there's just so many people that I feel like would get more opportunities that like that they did back in like 2005 when they did like the draft and everything, and then they had like Cena was on Raw, Batista was on SmackDown, or when Triple H was on Raw and JBL was on SmackDown. Like it just felt like there was two separate brands and two separate things going on.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. It's Maria Kanellis' birthday today. Well, happy birthday. She's also from Chicago too. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
there's a lot of people from Chicago I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, okay, damn. I didn't even realize. So many.
All right. So here's the question that might make me have to end the podcast here. So you're a Chicago boy. Are you a CM Punk fan?
I like CM Punk, yes, because I see. I like CM Punk because he's from Chicago and a lot of the things like he did growing up. But I don't agree with a lot of the shit that he's done, and a lot of the stuff that he said is like, it just makes me think it's just like, damn. And it's one of those things. That's why it's like it's so hard, because it's like I'm one of those where like I try to listen to everybody and I take what everybody says, because I'm not trying to fight with anybody and argue with anybody about. Because listen, we're just here trying to watch wrestling. I'm not trying to have like physical fights and arguments with somebody about a wrestler that, you know, and it's just like I like what he's done and like we'll remember all the good, but all the shit that has happened, it's just like his name is just like not what it once was. Yeah. And like we could talk about CM Punk as being one of the best, and now we're talking about him being fucking that press conference. And if that's the last time we ever see CM Punk, it's gonna be kind of crazy.
Yeah. I'm starting to get the feeling he is gonna come back to AEW, but he had a chance to really cement his legacy, and it seems like he did the opposite.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And that was the thing. Like, he could have literally cemented his legacy. And like that night in Chicago when he returned and they had the popsicles and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like, there was a buzz around Chicago. Like, I was listening to sports radio, they were talking about it. Like, it's just like, so it's just like, that's like the type of, and it just sucks how it all ended. So I like CM Punk, but then again, I don't. I just, it sucks because he was one of those ones I loved for a long time, and he was my favorite at one point, and now he's just
now I get it.
So
hell of a match going on here.
Yeah, for real. I'm trying to talk and at the same time because I want to make sure I watch it.
Yeah, we're doing the no in a podcast. We're not even looking at each other. We're just watching this thing the whole time. But
that's okay. That's what the watch-alongs are for, you know.
Great match. Yeah.
Listen, if it was me, I'd just sit here like this the whole time and just be like, "Yo, yeah, that was a good one." Because then I'd actually know everything that was going on.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes.
Oh, the old spat on the belt.
Oh. Chris says Cora Jade is. I didn't know Cora Jade was from Chicago and Sky Blue. True. What's up?
I didn't know Cora Jade was. No, there you go.
Do Braun and Cora Jade live out here? What's up? I'll go hang out with them. Shit, they're younger than me. I'll be the old one. Jadis, it is not my birthday. My birthday is in May.
Listen to that crowd. Holy crap, listen to that crowd.
I gotta like take off my headphones to listen to the crowd a little.
Man, that's giving me chills hearing that crowd.
Just doesn't happen anymore. It really is. 1, 2.
And he kicks out. Look at that.
Kicks out. Let's go.
Hogan's so good with the facials, right? What? This is where the crowd finally turns and starts going towards Rocky.
Do you feel like this is the one that where like Rock like really got over, like, or like do you think like?
I think Rock always was over, but this just again cemented Rock's legacy, put him into that stratosphere, you know?
Yeah.
Which is why it's a little bit frustrating, because then he's gone shooting his movies right after that, right?
Yeah, because then you don't see him. Because I just started, like I said, I'm watching the build the 19 for tomorrow, and he just returned from Hollywood. And he's calling out, and he's just coming out and saying, like, "Oh, you suck. You weren't with The Rock, and I'm Hollywood." And it's just like,
ideally, you want somebody who's going to be around for the next few years and work off this rub. But you know, it was either going to be him or Austin, and Austin was going to be gone just as soon too. So you know.
Because how long was he gone for? Did he not come back until, like, when did he come back? Did he not come back until that, like, time when he came back after
Rock or Austin?
Rock.
Rock. So Rock stuck around to SummerSlam. Then he lost the title to Brock, right? Then after that, he left to go shoot Scorpion King, I think it was.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
And The Rock has beat Hulk Hogan. I did thought Hulk Hogan won this. I don't know why.
What a match.
One for the ages. Yes, sir, man.
That's what a crowd can do, man. Like, people got to realize they can make a match on another level.
They really can. And they can, like, it just some of the matches too are just like the crowd can either make it really good or really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over the veteran Lion. The younger Lion.
Hogan doing a good job of selling there. At least he stayed on the mat for a while.
I just lay there. I just fall asleep. Dead ass. I just be like, I'm done. I just wait till the Undertaker comes out. Go up when all the lights go out.
The Skydome jinx.
The Skydome. And then just to think, a year later, Rock's facing Austin and Hogan's facing Vince.
One of the bloodiest matches ever.
With which one? Hogan
Vince and Hogan.
It did surpass it. Oh, yeah. On this night.
So, yeah, that should be your ending to the pay-per-view.
Yes, like right here, we should be getting off saying bye, have a nice night. Yeah. But we still got 2 matches left, bro.
Especially since you had the NWO come out, too, right?
Oh, did they come out after this match?
Yeah, sorry for spoiling.
Oh, that's okay.
Spoiler alert.
Like, that's the thing, too. Like, I low-key, like, literally have been watching this whole time waiting for Hogan to win. I did not know The Rock won this match. I've been trying to stay away from all the results, even though, obviously, it's happened and everything already. But, like, as much as possible. And there's some matches that so far I've been surprised about in these 3 WrestleManias I've watched so far. Did you enjoy the Rock and Cena feud? Like, because this is pretty much what they tried to do with Rock and Cena, is this type of like.
I did, yeah. Although I was kind of over the Rock by that time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, he had done so many returns and stuff like that. It just didn't mean as big a deal to me. But I know for younger fans, it was a big deal because they hadn't seen as much of the Rock as maybe I had seen, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Cena, I'm glad you are a Cena fan because he gets so much heat for stuff, but he always puts on a good match, always puts on a good feud.
Big Match John.
Big Match John, exactly.
Big Match John. Man, I've been a fan of him. So I can't even remember. I was wearing the chain. I was doing all of that when he just
I hate the amount of grief that he gets, right?
Yeah.
Like his feuds are like legendary.
Here's NWO, and they just turned on his ass. Oh, I didn't know they turned on him. We got the White Rabbit in the house. Oh god, we got more. We're going back down the rabbit hole. But we got. Where do you think Jay White's at? In AEW or WWE?
I'd say AEW.
See, I don't know. I really could not see Jay White showing up in WWE. I feel like those are one of those things that I just don't know. Like, I think it would be cool, but I feel like he would more likely to go back to AEW.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's Triple H in control, I could see it happening a bit more because Triple H would have a bit more knowledge.
No, this is not pre-recorded. We are live. What's up? Your boy Tino's here. We are live. These are not pre-recorded. Only episodes that are pre-recorded here on Tino's time is the collection episodes. So, fun fact for you guys. If you didn't know. But no, we live. We're here. So, I'm sorry. What were you saying? Go ahead and finish.
No, I was just going to say, with Triple H at the helm now, I could see them signing Jay White because Triple H would have knowledge of him as opposed to Vince would look at him and go, he's too small, you know. But Triple H actually would respect him and want to sign him. But I just see Tony Khan putting a big pitch to get him over there.
I mean, Tony's got to. I mean, he couldn't even make his announcement on Wednesday. I was like, "What are we doing here? Sending Adam Cole out to make the?" I was like, "Bro, like really?" I would love to see LA Knight versus Stone Cold. Book it. Let's do it. LA Knight's got nothing to do with WrestleMania. Let's do it.
How about LA Knight versus The Rock? Imagine those promos. You wouldn't be able to tell who's talking.
Oh my God. Yeah, you smell. Let me talk to you.
And I'm pretty proud of LA Knight for how he got himself over in that Bray Wyatt feud. Everybody thought he was going to be buried, and he did an amazing job. What do you think's happening with Bray at Mania?
I don't know. I've heard rumors of Bray versus Bobby. I've heard Brock versus Omos. I feel like it all really happens and depends what happens with that. Like if Brock really faces Omos, it's Bobby and Bray.
But you can't have Brock versus Omos.
That's what I'm saying, but it looks more and more likely like that's happening. Everything I keep seeing is it's just like, what are we doing here? I just don't know. I hope not, but that's why I don't get it until it's official. I'm not gonna get you know.
That would be a 5-second match, one F5 and then the pinfall.
A waste of a time.
Look at the Raptors going nuts for Hogan.
We got a versus a what chance.
Yeah.
What? We got a Hogan versus Rock. I don't know what they're doing now. They're just trying to hype up the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Like a man, like this is how you end the WrestleMania.
This is how you end the show. Yeah. Like this is how you end it. Oh yeah, but I could definitely get it. That would be a funny segment. The versus what?
The Brock and Omos thing, man. If that really is what happens, I'm gonna cry. Just not ready for it. Smell. It is cooking. These two men.
If this was 1998 WCW, Hogan would have turned him Rock right there. After all that. It was all swerve, bro.
What do you think Hogan's best match is at a WrestleMania? Have you seen
at a WrestleMania? From a crowd reaction, this is probably it. But honestly, my favorite Hogan match at a WrestleMania is Hogan Savage from WrestleMania 5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
Did he compete at every one from 1 through 19?
1 to 9, yeah.
1 through 9, okay.
Yeah. But
and then
I know his match with Andre is remembered as this epic thing, but Andre was just so slow at that point. But
yeah,
Hogan Savage, like they worked really well together, and I mean Savage just did everything in his possible to get that match over. Hogan Warrior actually wasn't as bad as people think. I mean, that's probably the Warrior's best match at a WrestleMania.
Which WrestleMania was that?
That's WrestleMania 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite is Savage Hogan from 5, and then it's this one.
So when did Hogan leave and come back? He left.
So he did WrestleMania 9. He won the title after that stupid screw job with Brett. Lost the title to Yoko, and then Hogan gets in there and gets the title from Yoko. Then he held it until the summertime. Then he lost it finally to Yoko in I think it was at King of the Ring, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like a screwy finish. And then he left to go shoot his movies. Plus, they were trying to get a little bit of heat off of him because the whole steroid trial that was going on.
And then this is how the Big Show Cody Rhodes rivalry starts from WrestleMania. all the mockery. Woo!
Yeah, so Hogan left in 94 officially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he came back, what, 2000? And then.
Right there in 2002. Yeah.
Okay. Learning
Pizza
so much.
Pizza.
Pizza.
That is such a Toronto pizza joint.
We got a new attendance record, everybody. Get used to this. We're going to hear this 3 times a week, a new attendance record. 68,237 fans. To think that there's that many wrestling fans out there is crazy. Happy I'm not alone. I'll say that, though. That's the one thing I've learned from being on Twitter, how many wrestling fans there really are in this world.
Oh, yeah. Well, think about like Hogan Andre back in 1988 was watched by 33 million people.
33 million? 33
million. When they were on, when Hogan lost the title
people.
After 4 years.
My, that's crazy. Really? Yeah. Holy crap. That's
the very first live main event that was on primetime. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's a fun fact. We got a triple threat women's match, guys. It's not as good as the bra and panties match we watched last week on New Year's Revolution, but it's a good triple threat match. I saw that. I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, these people are going to think I set it up this way. I was like, I had no idea. Shit that they used to do.
That's like I did a retro review with Kyle from the Apron Bump, and it was Armageddon 2002, and like that was when they had the Tori Dawn Marie angle where like she's seducing her in the hotel room. Like,
oh yeah,
this will be the one time my wife walks down while this is on there, right? Like,
what are you recording? You said you were doing a wrestling podcast.
Exactly. That's always the way, right? Like, you know, every time your spouse walks in a room is when there's a women's match on. That's the only reason you watch wrestling, right? For the women. Always.
No, not at all.
Good theme song, by the way.
Which one is this?
This is Lita's, what's it called? Boy Hits Car, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I took off my headphones a little so I could hear a little, because the headphones, I had to turn up the TV a little with the headphones on. I can't hear as well. Why does it look like she's like a baby on? What's with the legs coming off of her t-shirt?
I never understood that look.
Okay,
like then. A pair of pants attached to her shirt.
Is that how we were dressing back in the day, girls?
Yeah.
Is that what was going on? Stratus faction, everybody.
Toronto's own.
That's where the satire's from. That's so funny. I didn't know that.
Dude spelt it wrong, by the way, I think. I think it said stratified instead of stratified.
Oh, God. Imagine how many of those people, like now, like, if you go back and watch this, how many, like, mess-ups there may be, and, like, you cannot go and, like, fix it. Oh, they started fighting before Trish got in the ring. Is this 2000?
Oh my God! Did you hear what King just said?
What did he say?
He said, "Look at that pretty red top. It's utterly beautiful." Oh my God, King, you were just off the hook here. Oh, Trish went down hard there. Jazz was a badass.
Yeah, she was. He said, what a position that is. Fucking Jerry, man. That's all he's thinking about all the goddamn time.
All the time. Even he's in the hospital with his stroke now. He's probably still thinking about that.
Oh, you know it damn well.
Probably the first word he said after he recovered was puppies.
Puppies! Jerry.
I mean, Jazz was just recently wrestling too, so...
Was she really?
Yeah, run Impact. Everybody goes to Impact.
Everybody just decided we're going to Impact. True.
Although Mickie James has been awesome on Impact.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, she has. Man, when I saw Nia Jax come back at the Royal Rumble, I kind of
Ugh.
got a panic attack. I was like, "Is this woman really back?" And then when I saw it was just a one-off, I was like, I took a deep breath. I'm like, "Thank God."
Yeah, Nia Jax is not good.
No, she's good for something like that. Like if that's what they wanted, she didn't need to come out at 30. But like if that's what they wanted to use her for, then sure, whatever.
Yeah,
It is what it is. That's why, like, I knew nothing crazy was gonna happen at the Royal Rumble, and everybody was like, "Come on, Tino, you're gonna think about this guy." And I'm like, "Yes, but if it doesn't happen, I don't want to be. I said it, and then it don't happen. I'm gonna say something that's more realistic to happen than People were saying like The Rock was gonna end Austin, and I was like, we ain't getting that spoiled.
no.
WWE ain't gonna do that much for us. Come on now." One I do think I think it would have been funny to see is the guy that competed in a lot of them was Rikishi. I think it would have been funny to see Rikishi come out with all the bloodline stuff going on, just to see him come out and have his little moment. Because he did compete in a lot of Royal Rumbles for like a period. I think he was at like the highest before Kane took over. Or not Kane. Who was the most? I forget. Is it Kane? I don't know.
The most what?
Like appearances in the Rumble. Yeah. I think
it might be Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's right, because he has one as Isaac, so they count him as like he's got like 17 as Kane and then one as Isaac, so he's at 18. That's right, Isaac Newton. Who could forget about that?
Isaac Yankum.
Yankum. I said Newton.
Yeah.
I said
the
Newton.
Dentist.
Yankum. The dentist.
Ooh. Pretty bad when they're announcing all the countries that they're shown in while this match is going on.
Yeah, right. This is the bathroom break. In reality, this is when we should take the bathroom. But like, I don't know if I could have got through The Rock and Austin without going to the bathroom, or The Rock and Hogan.
Yeah. Like how many fans after the whole Rock Hogan thing, are like all of a sudden they hear the music, like, oh shit, there's still some matches to go.
Bro, literally, did you saw everybody standing up and so hyped? Everybody is literally exhausted. Like I feel like even right now, I feel like we just watched that match, and I feel like these two matches are just there.
It's like a different pay-per-view.
It really doesn't it feel like it? And like it really does. Like the way Rock ended is how you should have had it gone. Was like with him like standing there, and it's crazy. And it sucks for like these 5 people too, or these 6 people with Stephanie, I guess, coming out.
Yeah.
That like they went out there and they had to try their best to go out there and put on a show with, like this is a good match to probably put after like the Fatal 4-Way match.
Ooh.
1, 2. Ooh. I don't think this match is very long either. I think it's only like 5 minutes.
No, they're hustling through their spots. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. You can see with Trish, you can see like how fast she's moving and stuff too.
Plus, we saw a few botches because they're trying to get through it so quickly.
Vince said, just go out there and try to do good shit.
Yeah.
1, 2, kick out. And it sucks because there were so many talented women around this time that probably like should have gotten like around, and especially like around like the bra and panties. As great as those were, I honestly would have loved to see Stacy Keibler whoop somebody's ass and stuff. Like
I was a big fan of Victoria back in this
Victoria
time.
too, yeah. Victoria, she was another one. I liked Ivory too. Besides the right,
yeah, Ivory was really good. Yeah,
Holly was good.
And then of course, you pretty soon had Mickey come in.
When did Mickey come in? 2004.
She fought.
It was 2006. She fought at WrestleMania because that was
that's right. Yeah,
because that was the first women's rivalry I remember. Like obviously Lita and Trish, but that was like the first one I like really remember at a WrestleMania being like big. Because like
they're hyped for the match, right?
Yeah, like there really wasn't one even after that. Like they never really did. They all the time the woman would. Oh, and 3. And Jazz is still your Raw Women's Champion.
Canadian girl does not win in her hometown.
Why didn't Vince like to do that? What is with him?
I
I've
don't
noticed
know.
that. Does he not like people winning in their hometown?
It's just a weird thing that WWF did. I don't know why they did it that way, but you look at the fans, like they're just shaking their head going, what was that? You know?
They're like, I'm ready to go to bed. But guys, after 10 matches, 3 hours and 24 minutes, it's time for the main event of the evening. It's Chris Jericho taking on the Game Triple H for the WWF Undisputed Championship, as Christian is trying to get out of town with the Hardcore Championship. Oh shit, it's Maven. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, and Maven is your new champion. Go, Maven, go.
The deadliest finisher in all of pro wrestling, the roll up.
Literally, seriously. How many roll-ups? There's too many roll-ups.
Everybody had those snapped tearaway pants back in the day.
One more match. One more match. One fall. The undefeated Federation champion. And it kind of sucks, too, because it's like Triple H won the Royal Rumble this year. And it's like, I feel like that's another reason why they gave this match the main event. But then you think about it, like how many people have won WrestleMania and won the Royal Rumble and have not main evented WrestleMania?
Yeah.
And I feel like this was one that they tried to put there just because it was like he won the Royal Rumble.
They had a great story going, like Triple H coming back from his injury. But I just don't think that at that time, Jericho was a true WrestleMania main event worthy opponent. And they had to pivot.
I feel like he was more of like, I feel like this point he was kind of like a Kofi Kingston type.
Yeah.
Where like he was kind of like over and everything, but he wasn't like at that main event level where like Kofi was. But like when he went on and he went to Kofi Mania and everything, I feel like that's what kind of like pushed him. But Jericho didn't get to that push yet where he eventually got and turned into Y2J.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Who do you think would have been a better opponent for Triple H with the WWF Championship?
Well, so you had The Rock and Austin were tied up. Possibly Austin would have been a great one. Because we never
see Triple H and Austin.
We never really got that Austin Triple H matchup. You know, they had some like on some
minor pay-per-views. Right. They had the No Way Out one at 2001. That's right. They had
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle would have been a great opponent for him. I mean, he was just with Kane. They could have just put Kurt Angle the title on him.
Yeah, and they could have did it on Jericho and Kane or something.
Because they had the whole Kurt Angle Stephanie connection there as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, true. Because Kurt Angle was the one that
yeah.
And that's
that or even an Undertaker, although he had the great stuff going on with
Flair.
Yeah, and you're not going to have him break the streak, so no. But yeah, maybe Kurt Angle be the guy.
Because they faced each other. It was 17. Yeah, because they faced each other at 17, and they didn't face each other till 27, right? Taker and Triple H.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's such a shame listening to these guys do this song. They're not the same as Motorhead.
No.
Man, Triple H is just jacked at this point.
To think this is the guy that's running the business right now, too. I always think about that watching this. I'm like, this guy was literally running around with DX, and now he's running the show.
Well, like we're watching him now as the Connecticut Blue Blood as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, right? So I think that guy's running the WWF right now.
Literally.
Yeah, they had to pivot. This was a great story going into Mania, but then you had the Hogan situation and you had to pivot and go, okay, this is bigger than the title right now. They should have put that as the main event.
Yup. And that's why, like, this year, like, even if say the Usos didn't have the tag titles, and it might not even be the biggest match on the card, that's the biggest storyline right now. That should be the main event. Mm. Because that's what everybody's talking about. Sammy, Roman, this and that. That main event's both nights. That's what everybody will remember.
Yeah.
If it's like the second to last or third to last, everybody's going to be pissed. And I'm not trying to listen to Twitter. I'm going to turn my phone off.
I hear you.
turn the live stream private. I'll watch it by myself. Boom. Take the walls down.
Jordan, I know that Jericho beat The Rock in Austin, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, he did. But
it's not like he how can I say it? It's not like he dominated them and just it wasn't like Lesnar beating The Rock in Austin in the same night, right? It was a couple of cheesy wins that he got by interference. It's you kind of like lucked into the belts.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but this isn't a lot of people think of Jericho today and think of how he's the megastar, but this isn't quite where he was at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like at this time, like, he was like one of those guys, like, he was there, but you didn't know if you really liked him yet, or like
he didn't feel like he was in that top tier at that point. Yeah.
And again, like you said, like The Rock and Hogan, that's the two biggest names, and you saw how that crowd was. Like, that's how you end the night. Like, this should be this should have been the third match, I think. Like, this should have been where Rock and Hogan was.
Yeah.
It probably would have been a better match too.
Yeah. I know this sounds really petty, but Jericho wearing those green tights drove me crazy too. I don't know why. It
is kind of different. I always think, I always like WrestleMania 19. I can never not think of Jericho in like those like light blue ones.
Yeah.
And then it's like seeing like one like this is like, yeah, like, why do we do this, Jericho? Like, what are we doing here? We got the pink, the green, like we look like a guy. We look like the bubble chew, like the bubble gum, where like there's like the green in the middle and there's like the red on the outside. Or pink isn't. I'll wait and see because I don't know. I think this might be. I'm not going to say nothing though. I do that all the time. I'll remember something as I'm watching this. I'll say it, and then I'm like, damn, that's the ending. I'm like, oops. So I'll wait and see if this is the ending, if I remember. Because I think I'm starting to remember the end of this. I don't know. I could be wrong, though. Like, isn't that crazy to think, like, the last time they really did have, like, two belts like this was, like, obviously Brock did it, but, like, the last time, like, it was, like, that kind of big was, like, with like, Jericho and everything.
Mm-hmm.
At least those two belts were nice looking. I can't deal with the blue Universal title.
Mm.
Big question. Seeing this isn't a match I go back and watch. Yeah, this is a match I don't think I've ever watched all the way through. Yeah. I think I've seen like bitsy pieces and highlights of it, but I've never watched it all the way through.
Because everybody turns off after Hogan Rock.
I mean, if we're watching that and like you don't know, like if you didn't know, like pause it and you didn't know how much time was left, I would think that was the main event. Because in reality, like, and honestly, you really don't need these two matches. Like,
well, you could have them earlier in the card, is what you do.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. I mean, again, that's the simpler solution, but they don't like think like that.
Triple H should lend Jeff Hardy some of his tan.
Dead ass. He's got too big of a tan. They should stand next to each other and be that commercial when you don't go outside, when you do go outside. This day and that night. Last week. What do we got? This match was almost 20 minutes, true. 2. Or like, what was it, like 15 then? Because they were still doing the little video packages after, I think.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Ever since you said that about the crowd, I can't stop looking at the crowd and just looking how bored they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they literally don't look like excited at all. They're just like, yay.
They're exhausted. They're emotionally exhausted.
Yeah. Bro, people don't understand how much emotion goes into wrestling sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, the emotion is exhausting. Like, when, like, Sami Zayn turned on the Bloodline or, like, and did all that at Royal Rumble, I was exhausted after a while. I'm like, I went through a roller coaster there for, like, 45 minutes.
that is the whole point of professional wrestling, is to get people emotional about it, right? If you're not emotional,
yeah.
what the hell are you watching it for, right? Like,
Just to watch
that's
it.
been my argument the whole time about AEW. Sure, they put on great matches as far as all the moves and that, but if there's no storyline or no emotion attached to it, like, how
Exactly.
you getting into it, you know? Like,
Big facts.
I can only watch so many 5-star matches in a row in a card before I get a little sick and tired of it, right? I'd
Yeah.
rather see just like a Omos versus Brock or something, because it's going to be something different.
Well, exactly.
But
Like you need I heard somebody say something about the Royal Rumble where like they have like all these spots where like you have all the people come in and then you have somebody clean out and then you have like a big monster, you have like an underdog and everything, and it's like, you know, like that's kind of like how it is. Like you need somebody to fill each spot to make it go move.
yeah,
You know, like, and at this time, like thinking like the fact that like Kane and Kurt Angle was like the third match on the card is like, to think about now, like that's crazy to think about. Like you had a WrestleMania with Kurt Angle and Kane as like the third match. What else do you have on that WrestleMania?
storylines going.
Yeah. Long-term booking.
Yeah. If you got certain specific storylines, like say like I don't know, Rhea going from start to finish is not as big a deal to me as a babyface doing it, right? Like when Shawn Michaels went from start to finish, or Chris Benoit went from start to finish. That was the storyline to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Rhea should dominate. You know, Gunther was intriguing going from start to finish because you weren't expecting that.
No,
you know?
I didn't expect any of that from him. And that's the thing, like people that don't watch NXT, that's how they're gonna like get to know Gunther. And now people are like, oh my god, this Gunther guy's a monster and he's amazing. Yep. And it's just like, well, yeah, he is. But like, you know, it sucks that it took like a 1 hour, 11-minute Royal Rumble for you to realize that.
Yeah.
He said Jordan says he feels like the Kurt versus Kane match was 10 hours ago. Jordan, Jordan, I
agree.
You can leave, bro. Everybody can leave but Tino. If you guys don't want to stay, you guys don't have to. I appreciate it, but like
Jordan, feel free to subscribe to the Wrestling with the Truth channel before you go, though.
Go make sure to go support him. I'll make sure too to put your link and stuff. If you want to send me like if you have like a link tree or something, I'll make sure to put it in the description.
Jordan's bringing some good points up.
He does, yeah. I know Jordan's my retro guy. He's usually always in here watching them with me and talks about it, because there's sometimes I'm sitting here for like 10 minutes and nobody's talking and I'm like, damn, what are we gonna talk about? I'm just watching it like I do in my room.
Yeah. Just decided to invite some people over.
Yeah. I figured I do this every year anyway, where I go back and watch all the some of the matches that I really enjoy. So I figured, why not come and hang out on YouTube, watch it with some people, hang out, get everybody involved. Why not? You know, because there's really not much on besides wrestling right now, and I mean, I feel like the building isn't going to start ramping up until like it should in the next week or two. Like we don't even have anybody in the Hall of Fame yet.
No, that's right.
It's got to be Batista, right?
Makes sense since it's in Hollywood, right?
You would think so. He was supposed to go in the COVID year, I think. I think he was announced for COVID, and then they took him out because he didn't want to be a part of it. Triple H's. Oh. I'm a wrestling nerd, but retro watch-alongs give me... I mean, very true. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. Gives us something to do. There's nothing else on today. What else will we be doing? Watching it, too?
There's no such thing as a wrestling nerd. We're all fans. All fans.
Yeah. I just got made fun of for liking wrestling all the time. I'd wear a wrestling shirt, and they'd be like, you're like wrestling? It's fake. I'd be like, so? I had John Cena shirt on for picture day one year. My mom saw the picture when it came in the mail. She made me go back the next day and retake the picture. My dad let me wear a John Cena shirt. And had his shirt off. He had his chain on. He had his hat on and backwards. I was like, yeah, cheese. I was like 10 or something like that. It was so funny. Shoot, my mom wasn't happy though. She had to repay for pictures. You know how important those school pictures are to moms, especially at that age. That's how they show the kid off.
Here's the other thing. Triple H does not make a good face.
Yeah.
He's the game. He's the guy that should be the most evil guy in the wrestling, right?
And that's what I've realized too. Like he was always like so good at being that guy that he's good at being a face, but there's just those guys that are so good at being heels that they
like
should
Ric
really
Flair, same guy.
Yeah, like Randy. Yeah. Like I love Randy Orton, but Randy Orton should never be a face. Miz
he should be an evil heel. Yeah,
Miz never be a face. Nobody's ever gonna like the Miz as a face ever because we just hate the Miz. But then there's guys the other way. You can never be a bit like they could be a heel, but they're way better as baby faces. Where like Rey Mysterio, you turn Rey Mysterio heel, he might be good. Where I would love to see a Rey Mysterio heel, but seeing like kids like get upset because Rey Mysterio turned heel, or like seeing Dominic as the heel is gonna make Rey way more over when he finally punches the Dom in his face.
Yeah,
I can't wait. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I'm gonna scream like a child.
Like I say, I'm really intrigued about Santos getting involved with that too.
Yeah. I don't know where that's going to go. Could we see like some type of a tag team now?
I think so. You know what? I think we're going to see a gang war. I think we're going to see Legado del Fantasma with Rey against the
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah.
Besides Finn and Rhea.
Well, you could still have Rhea. Well, no, she's tied up with that. But if they don't do it at Mania, you could have Rhea involved in the match.
Yeah.
She's tougher than Dom is.
I can't. I do hope we do see Finn and Edge inside that Hell in a Cell, though.
Oh, you think that's where they're going with it?
I think that's where they're going. But again, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just seems like that's where, especially after he cost them last week, I think we're going to see them in some type of a match. But the Hell in the Cell is just something that was supposed to happen at the Royal Rumble, and I would just love to see it. And I feel like Hell in the Cell should be used for like the War Games. It should be used for like a rivalry that's going to end instead of just having a random Hell in the Cell at a pay-per-view in June. Yeah. Because they're fighting for the championship.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing like about like all the old like the Triple H and Mick Foley one is so iconic because the rivalry and everything that they did and what was it at? Like a No Mercy or something like that, I think it was, or I could be wrong. I forget what pay-per-view it was at, but it doesn't need to have its own pay-per-view. So
yeah. Ooh. Time Buster.
Oh, kick out. I thought it was.
I was like this whole Brock Omos thing is throwing me out because I kind of thought they were going to go with another Lashley Brock match, but I thought they were going to go I thought they were going to do like an MMA, maybe the Fight Pit type of thing with them.
Imagine those two in a Fight Pit. That would be insane.
Because they've had so many screw ups with the finishes that it's like, okay, we need to do it in a real Fight Pit style, right? Yeah, they're both MMA guys.
It could work.
Yeah.
They just got to do something. You got to make that match somewhat more intriguing if that's what you're really going to do. I don't know. That's why I always say until it's confirmed, all we're doing is really talking about rumors. Obviously, there's things they're building to and that we could tell, but we don't know until they, something could happen tomorrow. We could change.
Yeah.
So, we really don't know. I just try to stay, even because I'm not one of, I'm not trying to argue with somebody on Twitter or Instagram or somebody tried to argue with me. I'm like, listen, bro, I have other things to do than argue with you on Instagram. Have a nice day. I'm like, I don't got time for you. Come on now. There's just not worth it. There's other things that I have to worry about than what you're saying on Instagram because you don't like that this guy's a champion or whatever. It's okay you have your own opinion, but, no reason to go write a text message telling me how bad I am at writing an Instagram post.
I didn't even realize people argued on Instagram. I
Oh,
see it
they
on
do.
Twitter all the time, but
Oh,
on Instagram?
Yeah, I get it on Instagram all the time. That's where I have a lot more followers than like any of my social medias. And yeah, all the time I get like, I'll wake up and I have like 10 comments and I'm like, oh my God, what are these idiots saying? And it's just like, why? I finally had to turn those off if Instagram got so bad. I didn't think I'd ever be that person to turn off notifications for social media. Here we are. Going through the announce table, Spanish announce table, that is. Never the regular announce table.
You notice that was the first time someone went through the announce table that night, too?
Yeah.
Now you got like 10 guys go through an announce table every Raw or something.
And then after the commercial break, they bring out a new one. And it's so funny. Me and Justin were watching the one on Thursday, and they brought out just a regular table, and they had their stuff on it. They didn't even bring out another announce table. It's like, oh, well, as far as we've come, damn, true. So excited. King of the Ring returning? Yeah, how do you feel about King of the Ring and King of the Ring, or Queen of the Ring becoming a pay-per-view again? 2.5.
I don't know. It's gotta mean something, you know, like.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, it does mean something, and they have like some type of like they actually make it like. I don't know. I just hope they do it correctly, because they could have these great ideas, but if you don't do it right, like it's not gonna work.
So me and Jay, my co-host, we came up with an idea for King of the Ring. Do the same thing, have a tournament, but instead of the crown, you actually get a title as King of the Ring. And what it does is it if you hold it for the whole year, you then get a world title match at the main event of the next King of the Ring. But you have to defend that title throughout the year. And if you lose it to somebody else, they now have the opportunity to get the title match at the end at the next King of the Ring match.
That's not a bad idea, because in reality, what is the champion doing at a King of the Ring?
Right. Nothing, right? Yeah,
that's a good idea, and that's some type of a different, like, modern twist that like people would get involved in, because then they're like, well, then Rey Mysterio is the champion, but then it's just some. That's a very good idea.
You could trade the title back and forth 20 times throughout the year, and the same guy could win it the day before King of the Ring, and he still gets that title shot, right? But it gives you another title on the roster it's like the new Money in the Bank is what it would become, except you could actually lose it instead of the guy holding on to it and surprising somebody, and you know when it's being cashed out at the next King of the Ring, and then they crown a new King of the Ring champion at the same time, right?
Well, and you have a match made in a year in advance. You can build throughout the year. Look at you guys coming out with great ideas.
So you get somebody that you want to be a main eventer by the next year, but this is a chance to really start building them up as that, right?
Well, yeah, because that's like something like that would have worked great for Theory, because like if Theory defending that title, like he's doing with the U.S. title, kinda, it just would have, man, sign you up.
But you also have the excitement that you're getting a new champion at the King of the Ring, because through the tournament, and they're going to be on the same trajectory, right?
Exactly.
Just having somebody walk around with a stupid cape and crown that means nothing, that's what kind of drives me crazy, you know.
Well, and again, like there not many people are like Booker T where they can do that. Like Booker T did it phenomenally, and they think that everybody's going to be Booker T, not King. Yes. Seeing Xavier Woods win King of the Ring was so cool after seeing him talk about it on Up, Up, Down, Down. But in reality, what did he really do besides walk around with the crown and have women beat him up with the crown?
Yeah.
And then what did Zelina do? Like Zelina didn't get anything besides tag titles.
Yeah.
And now she's back being like not doing too much. It's like I just don't understand. She's doing more with Street Fighter than she's doing with anything. And that's great for her. I just wish we'd see her a little bit more on TV with there's the chair shot.
Let's have some more skin in the game. Let's have a title involved with it, you know?
And something. 1, 2. I feel like Stephanie should have been wearing that dress at next year's WrestleMania. I feel like it would have fit better. Like it just matches the exact color for next year. Isn't Jericho from? Yeah, Jericho's from Toronto too, isn't he?
He's from Winnipeg. Still Canada, though. Yeah. Technically, he was born in New York, but he grew up in Winnipeg.
Oh, he was born in New York? Okay, I didn't know
because his dad was playing with the Rangers at the time. So.
Oh, okay. Stephanie beating up the ref. Like imagine,
She's-
like imagine going to work and being like, "Wife, I'm gonna pull your hair and beat you up and give you a pedigree."
She looks so young there too, eh?
Like, oh my god, it's so. I forgot how young Stephanie really was. Like me and my friend were watching a Raw yesterday, and she walked out, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "That's Stephanie." I'm like, "That's crazy."
She was actually pretty good considering how young she was.
Yeah, she really was that brat princess daughter that
Yeah.
everybody yeah. The princess.
I'm shocked the girls stayed in that dress.
So, do you think Triple H slept on the couch that night?
Oh, what a shot that was. Yeah.
1, 2. I feel like the refs can't be this stupid. Like, how did this guy all of a sudden get knocked out and is like laid out? Like, you didn't hear any noise. You just heard a guy fall on the floor. Like, come on now.
You gotta love the unprotected chair shot straight to the face, man.
Oh,
Glad that they don't have that anymore.
yeah. When did that stop? Was that after everything that happened with Benoit and everything?
Yeah, the concussion situation, yeah.
Oh, he's trying to do the pedigree. You can't do the pedigree. The game. Boom.
At least the fans are getting up a bit for it now.
Boom. Pedigree. Is this the ending? Is it? 1, 2, 3. And Triple H, the game, is your new WWF World Champion. Undisputed champion, I should say.
Yeah, so the crowd popped for that. So they could have got away with that earlier if they reversed that with Hogan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine like if you swap that, how much like better this match probably would have gotten over compared to what it was. Because in reality, it wasn't a bad match, but it was in an awful position.
Yep.
And like this is a great example of a match that wasn't as great, but the build was phenomenal. Like you watch the build, you're so hyped for this match, and then you watch the match and you're like, damn.
Yep.
Barely stand. The game, Triple H. And then 1 year later, he's defending the World Heavyweight title against Booker T. Booker. I forgot. I'm very interested. I haven't seen that. I want to see how Booker gets in the world title picture. I just started it.
It's an interesting build, that's for sure. It's a very controversial build.
I'm gonna try to watch as much as I can before tomorrow. Hard to watch this much wrestling.
This is fun, man.
I know. Like I said, there was a lot of moments that I like. Honestly, like I've rewatched this one like probably a handful of times, and there's so many things watching this that I'm just like, holy crap! I didn't even remember. Like I remember The Rock and Hogan, and then I remember like the tag match, and that was like about it.
Yeah,
and that's only because the Hardy Boys. Remember all the Hardy Boys matches. So I think all he does is celebrate, and then they go into the little things. So BC,
a little recap.
I appreciate you coming on, hanging out for almost 4 hours. You stayed the whole time. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking some time out, coming on the show. Before you go, though, if you want to tell everybody what you got going on, it's your time. Tell everybody where to go follow, subscribe. Go, yeah. So let everybody know where they can find you.
Sure, man. Thanks first of all for inviting me on. This was a blast to do. I know we've been trying to hook this up for a little bit, so I do appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to come follow us, so a couple of places you can get us. So first of all, we do have a YouTube channel called Wrestling with the Truth. You can, I'm in the chat. If you want to just click on that, you can go over and subscribe to it. We cover more so the modern stuff on the YouTube channel, talking about everything that's going on with the modern product right now. But we also have an audio podcast going on as well. That's what we started with. And it was Wrestling with the Truth. Now it's called Wrestling with the War, because what we're doing is covering the Monday Night Wars from 95 to 2001. Where we've started out right from the get-go, the first Nitro where Luger shows up, and we go on from there. So that's what we're doing over on any audio podcast platform. So Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you want to get your podcasts. And then if you want to follow us on social media, it is at WWTT Pod on Instagram and on Twitter, and then it's Wrestling with the Truth on Facebook. And, you can catch us there if you want to chat with us. But yeah, we're all over the place. So I really do appreciate you giving me the chance to come on and meet some new folks. Thanks to everybody who participated in the chat, because there were some cool folks that joined in there as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, thank you. We'll definitely have to do it again for something that's more modern now, not something from 2000, you know. Now we got the retro out of the way. Let's do something next time. WrestleMania's in a month or so. So, yeah, man, let's keep in touch, and definitely we'll have to do something next time together. Maybe me come on your guys' show next time. So.
Yeah, trust me. I'm always down for old school wrestling. Don't worry about that.
Oh, the old school is way better. So, well, yeah, man, I'll definitely let you go, and have a good rest of your night, and I will talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
See ya. Well, guys, this has been WrestleMania 18. We have now done 3 of these. 3 of them are in the books, guys. But now, tomorrow, we got WrestleMania 19. We will be joined here tomorrow for WrestleMania 19 by our guest, Gizmo 305. Gizmo, he's been on the channel before. He's a big collector like I am, as you guys know. So he'll be here on the channel tomorrow, joining us for WrestleMania 19. We're going to be here, do the same thing that we did here this time. So, everybody, I hope you guys all have a great Saturday night. Get some sleep, get some rest, because we'll be back here tomorrow on Tino's Time and Tino's Time Wrestling for another WrestleMania throwback and WrestleMania retro pay-per-view here on the Retro Series. So, everybody, have a great Saturday night. And until tomorrow night, Sunday night, guys, we going live here at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's a late night, so get your rest. Come back here tomorrow night, and let's watch WrestleMania 19. But that's all I got here for you guys here today. Thank you to my man BC for joining me and staying here the whole episode. Thank you to everybody in the chat that has participated. Thank you to my man Jordan, Hassan, Hillbilly, Ted, everybody, all you guys coming and hanging out. I appreciate it, and have a good one, everybody. But before we go, of course, you guys know what we got to do here on the outro. Mickey, go and tell everybody where they can go find your boy Tino. As we are on the road to 800, we are about 67, or I think we're actually closer. We're like 20-something now. So, guys, we're getting closer to 800. Keep supporting your boy Tino, guys, and I'll see everybody tomorrow for WrestleMania 19 with my man Gizmo 305.
Go follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, at Tino's Time. Also, Tino's Time Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook. Tino's Time 1996 on Twitter. But then, you got the TikTok and Instagram. So you gotta hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe on the road to 800. And finally, turn those notifications on. Have a great